Welcome everyone, we're back. It is GG Millions. It's season 2023, episode 23. Easy to not mess that one up. We got Charlie Carrel in the building. Charlie, how are you?
Beautiful human. Thank you so much for having me. It's a blessing to be able to work with you. I was saying this before we started the stream, but we've kind of coexisted in the space a lot, and we've touched bases every now and again. But you're just one of the people that when I see you, you're always spreading positivity. You got your own character, you've got your own persona, you've got your own magic that you bring to the poker worlds. I've just got so much love for you, man, and I am very, very excited to be commentating, see what these magical crushers are up to these days. I'm sure that poker's changed a lot since I used to frequent these stakes. I'm excited to see how it's happening.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Right back at you, and looking forward to diving in. We got some big names, as always, big stakes and big prizes. So we're going to take a look there at the GG Million rankings right there. Pretty impressive. This Asher Cunoff now is the number one. He has got 1,481,000. So he's leading that leaderboard. You can see there's been some movement. Juan Pardo Dominguez, great player, has been doing well lately on the show, and he is up there in second. So that is the current standings for the year on the season 2023, and right now 1,350,000 the prize pool. Again, always nice when you're playing for $1 million prize pool. And there's a look at your first place, 293,000 at first. Ninth place gets 40,000. Still solid. It's enough buy-ins. It's a lot to play for, though. Of course, ICM always something that is relevant at this stage. 8 through 12 always the most exciting. There you go. 9 remain from the Sunday 135 entrants, and we will play to a winner today on the show as usual. We got giveaways. There is going to be I think we'll have 3 giveaways. We'll be talking about that. And there's Alex Kulev, who is a absolute crusher. I mean, this guy has got it done. He has won on the GG Millions before, and he's got 145 blinds. So let's see who's going to beat the best. Let's dive in right into it. Under the gun, Queen 10 suited. Charlie, what are you doing here with this stack? I mean, fun hand, but tough position.
Damn, just seeing Bryn Kenny on there, hot off his win from Triton. I'm usually mucking the Queen 10 suited, unless I think that I have a particular type of table that isn't going to 3-bet me particularly liberally. Queen 10 suited is usually going to be a folds, but some people have got some different strategies coming into these things. It's not like too many people, or it's not like anyone could put any ICM pressure on him. He's the shortest stack, or at least, he's the shortest stack. So it makes sense. But personally, I'm throwing that one in the muck.
Yeah, mixed. You could go either way on that. I guess the risk premium. That's a popular term. We know that means not that much to lose. He goes out ninth, isn't going to say, "Oh, I was in third and fourth and I punted." So that is that working for him. He does go for a light open, takes it down, nice start. And I think we saw Ace Queen fold, right? Was that we see Ace Queen?
Yeah, just right. Bryn Kenny just justifying the Queen 10 suited open. Very nice. I'd usually use that as a 3-bet fold, and I'd actually use that as a 3-bet bluff, and then fold to a shove in that spot.
All right, well, yeah, very, very interesting and an interesting start. Are we? I'm not positive that is Bryn. Is that actually Bryn? I'm not. This has tripped me up before, but it could be. It could be. I don't know if the real name thing is a thing, but people also can make usernames and do stuff. So I'm not sure if that is him. I don't need clarification on that, but I do recognize Leon Sturm, who just won, I believe, the 50K in the World Series of Poker, and also has won in season 2023 the GG Millions already. So he's on a tear right now in good form, and we gotta do a draft here. We got to do a little dinner wager. You up for that? You want to do a little snake draft? We'll choose red or black and then pick some players.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
What dinner are we talking about here?
A nice one.
To some nice Wagyu.
Yeah, a +1. You can bring your +1. I'll bring mine. My wifey. We can have a nice time, and it'll be a nice dinner. So yeah, I'll let you choose red or black, and we'll go from there.
Done. All right, we're going red. Is that on the flop?
Yep. Flop sweat early on here, and a couple of real hands. And Bryn, who we saw, actually very interesting because this is a different situation and a very strong hand. You could see if it was an early position raise, maybe a flat, but this seems like could just surf it up. It doesn't play, I can get in some weird spots after. And this is tough, man. You get nines. You're like, top of my range. I can't really fold, but I don't want to flip. And here we go. Ace Queen off nines to start us right out the gate. And it is a clean flop for nines. Turn
Get him, fake Bryn. Yes, fake Bryn. Go on.
Get it, fake Bryn. It's a real turn for the man. And the river is wow.
Sweaty.
It was spade as well, but there it is. That's a fast start. Sometimes we go an hour without losing a player. We have lost one on the first orbit as we are down to 8 hand, and that's important because Oh, what was the flop? I got caught up in the action. I actually missed it.
Didn't even slightly pay attention to the flop.
Wow. Anyone?
This is why I don't do prop bets in cash games.
Wow. Let me see. I don't even have it up on my phone. I should have had it up. Audience.
We'll go for the next one.
We can wait for the next one. We'll wait for the next one. That was too exciting.
I'll go red again.
All right, red. We are gonna. We're down to 8, so we'll each have 4. Going to give you a giveaway. It's going to be $50 or $100. We'll do that later in the show, and then I do have a pinned, I believe, tweet that is out, that should be out at least. I'm in South Korea. It is late. It's like almost 4 a.m. here. I was at the offices today. Got to meet the Millions team. Pretty amazing. And I have more sympathy than I even had when I realized this time zone. It's a tough one to be here, but the boys are there and girls.
Are you up all night or are you up early in the morning?
So I took a nap today. Actually, I did take a little bit of a nap, but this is not, this is a tough one. We'll probably end around 6:30 a.m. here in the morning. So
I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Jeff Gross for being a professional. That is legitimately impressive. That you're actually very articulate for somebody that's only had a nap. Well, 4 a.m.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. The GG, I love them. They're very generous on that. They said, hey, if you want to take off, if you want to just you're here, I'm playing the APT as well. They were like, no problem. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to. I'm gone 3 weeks in Asia. I don't want to just be off for 3 weeks. I was like, I might as well just dive into it. So we're in here.
That looks red to me, by the way.
That is red, and you are gonna win. So you are gonna get the first pick today.
So I'm choosing who's gonna win, right?
Yes, and we will have one of us will win because we're just gonna do a snake draft. We'll have all the players, but yeah, you got
Alex Kulov.
That was a big flip. That was a legitimate big flip.
That was pretty huge.
That was nice. So I get 2 picks though, because I get second and third. I'll take Duco and Leon, who are very accomplished players. I believe of each one at GG Millions as well. So now it's your pick.
Even if there's a small percent chance this is the real Bryn Kenny, I got to go for Bryn. Because when the real Bryn Kenny, when he's on form, I've never seen anything like it. He's a bulldozer.
Well, and he just got it done at the Triton there in London as well. That seems to be his sweet spot, right? That's his pretty special place for him, and he is in good form. So yes, fake or not, either way, good stack, good energy. It looks like he made a discipline fold early, the ace queen off, early position raise. He was early position, looks focused and ready to go. So you got the Bryn Kenny at the table, and I will take Ding Bao. Just feels right. Ding Bao.
something about it feels right. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe the stack size.
Yes. They'll go.
All right, now I'm gonna go for Johannes next with the pocket tens.
Nice, good pick. And then I get Elian. I think we're all set. So at home.
Oh, I'm such a fish. I chose a guy that has tens. I didn't see Alex has queens.
Wow, and Duco with tens too. That is sick. Even sicker. He's got no path. He's got hit a straight or some hearts. He's literally
this
crazy.
Could go 3-bet. Yes, 4-bet. Get out of there, Johannes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, what a spot for Alex. 8-handed on the puck, chip leading, 2 queens with the. I mean, I guess in a way you're a little worried about, it is under the gun, his stack short, whatever, and then
bro, you're not even that happy with queens right now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you're in love, but you're definitely gonna be participating at least to this portion of the hand. Let's see what he does here. I think
you like blocking potential bluffs. You run against aces and kings pretty often. The worst pair that Duco's going to go with here is probably tens. So you're seeing aces, kings, jacks, and tens, and then you're blocking a bunch of the bluffs. It's like, and then you have Johannes, who's also repping very, very strong under the gun. I wouldn't be that surprised to see him just mark this. I don't think he's going to. I think that'd be too much, but I think he would fold jacks there, and I think queens and ace king you got to go with.
Yeah, also his stack size. So he has a little bit of maneuverability, right? If he's got like a 2.5 or a 1.6 stack or really vulnerable, it's a little tougher, but this seems pretty straightforward that he is going to be playing it as played. He is going to pull a pressure. Now Duco with the tough decision, chip leader button. I mean, this makes it all the more difficult to release because you are knowing this could be pretty wide.
Is he one of your picks?
Duco, let's see. You have Alex. I took Leon and Duco. Yeah, That was my
Yeah,
set right
nice.
there.
So I was gonna say I hope he set mines because there's no set,
Yeah.
there's no tens left. All right, fantastic. And it was an interesting size from Alex Kulov there. He's saying, hey, I'm gonna go all in versus Johannes no matter what. So now Duco knows that Alex has got like minimum jacks, probably folding jacks. So he pretty much is only putting him on like maybe ace queen suited as a potential bluff, and then just ace king and queens plus. And so Duco now just absolutely set mining, beats zero hands on this board. He has to throw his hand away now. There's no chance that he's ahead. And so yeah, it's a really really interesting spot. Alex also not loving life here. I don't think Duco is going to find any kind of bluff here. I think that'd be kind of suicidal.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. He's paused. He's taking some time considering. I mean, this is honestly though. This is like, as a poker player, it sucks when this happens, right? You're like, all right, I'm gonna go to a flop. Let's see if I can hit a good flop or flop a set or get something promising, and then you get this little bet, right? What's it, 10% pot, and you kind of get drawn in the allure. Okay, the price is still okay, and now here you go, a million
Yeah.
in the middle. You're out of position, and it is not looking good for Duco. He is, as we knew, he couldn't improve, but now the Queen of Hearts. This could slow him down.
Let me try and get in Duco's head right now. I think, you know, if you're Duco, you're putting Alex here on potentially only queens plus an ace king. And what you're thinking is, okay, there's going to be six combos of kings, six combos of queens before you saw the turn, and then there's only going to be 12 combos of ace king. So he's thinking, okay, if I get a good price and then Alex checks back the turn, I might be able to get him off queens and kings. That's the only thought process he can have there that's reasonable, I think. And it's a very, very interesting call that he took his time over, and Alex just screaming with joy when he sees that turn.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. You're right. I mean, that's the thing. There is a plan other than just hitting a 10. Of course, at this level, these guys know what they're doing. They're playing some street poker. They understand ranges, they understand combinations, and here we go. 6-10 suited gonna defend one of the shorter stacks, actually the shortest, as get a whiff here, although ace 10 suited, you know, it's a decent board though for him on the king 7-7, decides to check back. What do you think there about checking back versus c betting with this
I will
particular?
say for almost everybody who's listening to our voices right now, you have to just min or min plus or just a little bit bigger than min bet the flop, because the people that you're playing against aren't going to find the right frequencies to defend against that. At these stakes, it makes a lot of sense that he wants to play a decent amount of checking. You know, he knows his opponent's going to be very capable of taking some like 8-9 suited or 8-6 suited as a bluff there, and you know, it just makes the hands quite easy to play. And so it's a very interesting nuance there between playing against a very good player versus like a kind of good player versus a not good player. The only person I wouldn't see bet near 100% there against is a very good player.
It's a great point. It really is. Yeah, you can get put in some tough spots. The back doors, the wrap sort of runner combination hands that guys are going to be aggressive with. And like you said, I think that is a good point. People aren't doing it enough. They're not going to play back enough in this spot, especially at a final table. And Duco does find the delayed c bet, takes it down, and at 1.7 million, kind of got avoided a disaster. Tens to queens as he is.
Did you see that spicy hand that fake Brinketty just opened under the gun?
I did not actually. What was it? What do you have there?
He folded ace queen early. He just opened 8-4 suited under the gun.
I was in mid thought and mid flow, and I did not see that. Wow, 8-4 suited. That's strong.
My man, fake
That is
Brin. Let's go.
fake Bryn. That might be Bryn. Bryn claims
It's got a Canadian flag.
He claims full field player. I don't know if Bryn's doing a lot of deep dive work or not. He says he's just sort of plays feel all the way. So
I don't know what shaman he's visited that tells him to feel if 8-4 suited is an open, but that'd be a wild feel. But man, yeah, it's just going back to what you're saying earlier about Bryn, the real Bryn. It's like his thing was that, you know, his biggest moment in poker was that £1 million buy-in tournament in Triton, and I thought it was just such a crazy cool story for the poker world. I think a lot of people kind of got jealous and whatever else, but we had a person put the vast majority of his net worth in £1 million tournament, take extra bets on the side, and then just annihilate it for like 16 million or something along those lines. What a ridiculous story that is.
It's crazy. It is crazy. It's, I love, I gotta say, I love the poker world. I love poker we're talking about. It's just such a great game. There's so many interesting characters, so many interesting stories. And I love about the final tables as well, that it's just always, there's something new, right? Like the stacks, who's chip leader, what positions they're in. It's just always a puzzle. It's just such a cool, fun game. And yeah, pleasure to have you on today. Thank you for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. And we're gonna see some great poker today, that's for sure. Some big names and
I love it.
some very talented players here.
Do you double barrel here? He bet half on the flop. Do you think you double barrel here as Alex against Ding?
Yeah, I mean, now if you don't have clubs, right? Like a club draw is going to be not really loving to continue with this board. So yeah, I think you have one of the worst hands you could have. I think betting makes a lot of sense. You're going to see some light defense here. So I would think it's like a mandatory bet. Yeah.
As an interesting disagreement that I have with my boy Alex, I would have gone smaller on the flop against Ding specifically, because this
Yeah.
is a hand that you do want to double barrel pretty often, and you'd actually rather Ding have a slightly wider range on the flop with, like ace eight of diamonds, those kind of hands. And by going half, you're kind of like unsure whether he's going to call a lot of these kind of hands. So I would have gone something like a quarter pot on the flop, thinking I'm probably not going to get check raised enough, and then double barreled this hand, and knowing that there's a lot of gut shots, there's a lot of overcards and things like that. But when you go half, you're actually up against a lot more 10x percentage of his range. So just a slight disagreement there that I go from an exploit point of view.
I'm a little shocked he didn't bet the turn, but I guess he thinks that the ace high maybe won't fold calling. But I just feel like there's
Damn.
clubs, there's more like combinations of clubs and such that he might just get some hands to fold there. I'm a little surprised by that play, but also interesting to know that Alex showing us that you don't have to just go blast off, right? As chip leader, you can have some surrenders, some slowdowns, and decide for better spots. But personally, I'm a little surprised on that hand, that line from him. But again, one of the best,
Yeah.
great player, has his reasons, I'm sure, and yeah, decides not to pull the trigger.
Very, very important to note that in that spot we have to think, how would we be talking if he'd given up and Ding had like pocket tens, so something like that. Even as seasoned veterans such as ourselves, it's easy to be results oriented when we see, I see it as ace jack and I'm like, bet the turn, man. There's a dinner on the line.
Yes. Well, that is the interesting part too, because there's some cool hands. We do the mini games here where we'll be face down. That would have been a fun one, right, to play, because it is interesting, and it definitely is. There is a bias, or when you do get to see the cards, a little easier to sort of commentate or talk through hands, and I do think that is yeah, that is fun to sometimes not see them and get a mix here. So hopefully we'll get some of those again today, which I think we will.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I can see there are comments in the chat box, but I can't read them. Shall I get the comments up on the stream, or do you interact with the chat?
we usually take a look, and there's some interaction, not as much as, you don't have to give a call every shot, but we do want to invite everyone to let us know where they're watching from. We welcome you on, and there is a hands up giveaway as well, where there's a jackpot in it. And Charlie, while we're on that topic, maybe, oh man, hold on, let me hold all thoughts, because we're looking at another potential huge collision here, and a light
Damn.
3-bet is going to get met by adversity, and actually nines with the action 3-bet and then 4-bet coming, I guess, all in, or Cussy, does he have
Yeah, I
to
think
go
this just always has to go all in,
Yep.
fold, and a fold. And Alex Kulev getting out of line. I really like the 3-bet. I really, really like the 3-bets. Almost mandatory at this point with the ICM pressure. But that means that Duco is going to be avoiding this flip, which is pretty fun. It's a nice flip to avoid if you're in Duco shoes.
Snap fold, and he does get out of the way. Just felt like too much heat coming from that situation, and he did get out of the way. So he avoids a flip, still 1.7 million, pretty healthy. And again, one of the more vulnerable stacks, right? He's got sort of a nice stack, sort of in that upper echelon, while there's the 685, 605, 557, three very short stacks. So with him having 3x, those particular stacks not super attractive to try to get it in and flip at best, most likely there. So nice discipline, gets out of the way, still with a very, very healthy stack. And as I was saying, hands up, if you guess the winning hand, you can guess the exact suits, and it's a progressive jackpot every week. So Charlie, give me your guess today. What do you think the winning hand will be? Got to get the suits right too. Not
Winning
easy.
hand is going to be, I guess it only makes sense to go ace of clubs, ace of diamonds.
Well, nice, powerful. I'm gonna go jack of hearts, 9 of hearts. Just feels right. Just came to me. I don't know why. That's my guess. Not going to be easy to do. Good luck at home. And if you want to enter that, you could type in the chat. So we can see it. You can do that. But to enter and be eligible, you got to click the link. Hands up in the YouTube chat. Good luck to everyone out there. Let us know where you're watching from. And on my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker, pin tweet, $50 giveaway out of my own pocket. Charlie, if you win, if you do retweet, let your viewers know you're on and you win, I will honor it and I will double down and give another 50. So that you are eligible for that giveaway, and let your community know. And these are big hands, man. And a fold ace jack off gonna fold to the nines. The short stack, Leon just dialed in, understands what's going on, doesn't want to give up valuable chips, and just kind of felt like not going to be an amazing situation, although he would have been flipping. And yeah, here we go.
All right, I'm in the giveaway, I believe. Or do I need to comment it? Eligible. Let's go. Yeah. I will say that I never took advantage of giveaways when I was first in poker. I don't think they were around as much. And if I were new in the poker scene, that is the first thing I would be doing, is I'd be spamming those giveaways.
Yes. It's good. It's abundance. You know, you got to give it. It's good energy. It's fun to do. It's also just, yeah, that's something I've definitely done for a long time. And I do think it's fun. It's like, it's fun to win something. I feel like I never, you know, like the raffles, the fairs and stuff, like it's hard. So like, yeah, if you can give a giveaway a day, you know, it's or whatever, every giveaway a show, it's nice. People enjoy it. Here we have 3. We got the hands up. We got the tweet, and then we're going to give away $50 or $100 at the end of the show. If, actually, I forgot to say that. If one of my 4 players win, it's $100 in tournament dollars. And if one of your 4 win, it's $50 in cash, GG dollars. So good luck coming at home. Kind of got to put you on my side. If you want the extra 50, you got to root for my picks and the dinner. And then Charlie, I know you're an energy guy. I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, you're stealing the audience's energy. Very intelligent, very smart.
I should do red or black for that. Actually, I should. That's actually not fair. I think that's going to be a change I'll make in the future. We'll do a red or black to see who gets.
That's all right. Most people don't believe in it. I think you're good.
All right.
Very very interesting small blind defend there by 3 deuce suited from our friend Boss. And manages to river the straight, and yeah, this I guess this is why you play 3 deuce suited small blind versus button. If you're watching at home, please do that all the time, especially if we're playing together.
Yeah, that's there's definitely there's been some interesting play. I'd say people in general on the GG Millions, I feel like they go for it more than not. I mean, obviously it depends. Some people disregard ICM, some people just want to play for the win, some people like the glory, some people maybe just want to bluff, hold cards up, you know, family, friends watching, but you never know. It's always interesting to see what brand we get. I'd say in general it's pretty active. We've had very active GG Million tables, final tables, which has been fun. And here both players going to be pretty interested with the gut shot and have something going on here. So let's see.
It's an interesting sizing from the big blind there, choosing a pretty big sizing, considering that the small blind's going to be pretty inelastic, meaning that he's either going to have a lot of snap folds or a lot of hands that are just going to go with it. So generally in those spots, you want to be choosing kind of small sizes in general. Just make sure that you get his snap folds just out of there. But he goes for a slightly bigger sizing, and damn, fearless on the turn. That is some gorgeous play. It's hard to find too many folds from the small blind there, but he does manage to run into a hand that's just straight in the muck. So nice hand from Ilya.
Very, very, very strong poker. Aggressive. Falls through, gets it done. Nicely done. As we see Mr. Kulev at 5 million, just coming right on out. King, queen off. Pretty nice selection of a hand quality to do that. He is attacking under the gun, but it is still, it's not a fun spot for Ding. With a wide variety of hands he's going to open, he's not going to feel super comfortable to play for all of it. Alex, nice execution. Got the perfect hand to be up against it. Doesn't want to continue. And a pickup to 5.3 million. So nice.
Worth noting there that Alex using a very small sizing is a 3-bet. Very much good against a player who is kind of aware that he has to fold due to ICM pressure. But most people watching, they're going to be playing against people that can barely spell ICM, with all due respect to them. And that means that your smaller 3-bets might not have as much punch as Alex's does when he's playing against a fine player like Ding. So yeah, it's an interesting nuance that you can find in these things. Like theoretically, small c-bets there, 3-bets there make a lot of sense because you have so much pressure. You don't really need to put that much in to risk it. But then from an exploitative side, when you're playing against weaker players, you really have to be aware of how aware they are of ICM
Yep.
before you kind of construct your strategy.
That was what I was alluding to earlier, though. I do feel that in the last months, I've noticed a lot more very small three bets at like sizings and on and the final tables here. But as we see Bryn open jacks and get a very nice flop, pretty much. I mean, what a flop! Queen Jack 4 rainbow, no dice for ding. Doesn't want to come and continue the king 5 off there. So Bryn a little unlucky not to have his opponent flop top pair or have some sort of draw. As it stands though, picks it up and has at 2 million cool. And isn't it weird, man? We'll get Leon just nines in the bin, man.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what you do with nines there, and I think fold's really nice, really, really nice.
Yeah, and that is avoid a really tough spot there. That's, I mean, I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
the only other option I guess is to call, and that just doesn't feel too nice when you have to hit a set. Otherwise, the pot is not you're not going to win it very often against the chip leader. So yeah, I really like the discipline fold there. I think tens is an auto call, jacks is an auto call or three bet, and then queens is an auto three bet. But nines kind of playing just like a small pair at that point. And yeah, it's again just one of those things that you don't really see when you play lower stakes. People managing to make those folds.
It's good. It's a great point. Queen 10 has a key card. The 10, he could definitely have Jack 10 suited. He does have Queen 10 suited. Gonna be weighted more towards suited, sort of broadways and pairs in his hand. Maybe like sevens, eights, nines could call, and he does take one off here. Can't blame him for the price, and he knows that he actually is doing okay against a wide range of hands, and does have backup with the Jack to be sure. As it stands, Alex with two tens
Do you think
blocks
he's
Jack
going to
10.
barrel?
Feels like he could. He did not barrel versus Ding in the other time, and we get called here though. Like
I think he's going to barrel. Yeah, I think he bet half on the flop instead of checking back or betting small, and I think that to me indicates a man who's taking tens to the streets, knowing he blocks half of the combos of Jack 10 suited which exist out there, the clubs and the diamonds. He's only got the hearts and the spades left to worry about, and then the rest of Ding's hands, apart from specifically Ace Queen, are just going to be in the blender now. Even if you're sitting there with Ace Jack, Ace 10, you're just not happy with your life. And Alex taking a really really cool line there, in my opinion, and yeah, just really applying a lot of pressure, showing a lot of knowledge of the situation.
Yeah, well done, well played, and really, really concise analysis there on what he's doing and what he's doing with the sizes and why he may be doing that. And here we go, 3-4 suited going to defend and get a bottom pair versus top pair 10-8 suited, 10-9-4 monotone. I mean, this is top pair checks back.
Damn, this is why you don't trap your top pairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
That's this is probably going to be game over unless we see a spicy action killing river.
And I wonder, yeah, big size here.
Love the sizing and the dream river for Alex. And interesting to note the snap call on the turn from Boss. To me, that I would already make a note. MS, STV.
Wow.
Damn.
That is extraction.
Snap
That is a nice hand by Alex and Boss. Just where did it go wrong? Checks the flop and it gets just got ugly. The whole thing. Well played by Alex. 6.5 million. He is on fire right now. This is a big lead. We've seen a lot of GG millions. We see leads sometimes. We haven't really seen a huge run over where a player just gets to go crazy. And this is set up for that. Look at this. He is over 3x, more than that. More than 3x the second place stack, and there's a lot of short similar stacks. So Charlie, you might get to see a clinic today. It's possible that your guy just takes you out for a nice dinner, gets the audience only 50 instead of 100, which would hurt a little for them. But other than that, I mean, this
punish the audience for the sake of Charlie's dinner. Let's go.
Yes, this is we got it going on here. King 8 suited, Ace 9 off, and pretty nice flop for the short stack at the over and the second nut flush draw. Ace 9, just a complete whiff here. And let's see if he goes quarter small bet, tries to just take it down. Maybe I think that would be a good play here.
I think Johannes wins this pot 85% of the time, something like that, 90% of the time. You'd have to play it in a very specific way not to win this.
Yeah, a lot of hard to mess it up when you got this sort of a powerful semi-bluff hand here and this short of a stack. He is the shortest.
It is an annoying stack size. You'd almost rather have like 400k, where it's you have such an easy all in. Now it's like, okay, I'm going all in for 600, probably still the play, but you know, it is still mildly annoying because now we have more to risk. Very nice that the other short stack did just bust the hand before, and he's gonna get it through.
Yes, we are down to 7. You can see the pay jumps on the lower left starting to get a little more healthy. 66,000 guaranteed winner. Going to take 293 home. This is episode 23 of season 2023 GG Millions. Charlie Carrel has a almost 10 million in lifetimes earning. Is that, have you been looking at that? Is that on the Henna Mob? Is that a goal? Do you do goals, milestones, or do you just
You
kind
know,
of
I was for a while, and I got to like 9, maybe like 4 or 5 years. I don't know how long ago it was, and then I just decided I'd had enough. I was done, and I wanted to focus on other things in my life apart from poker. So I got so close to 10, and I'll talk through the rest of it as we see Alex
wow.
with not much of a percentage. I'll be real, this is not looking too pretty. Yeah.
That's a solver world, right? The king jack suited, just to rip it in, effective stacks, doesn't have to worry about much. There's an open, and he is going to run into the big hand, and that is gonna not work out for him. And I just actually realized I thought my laptop was charging. It is not. I need to
Good luck. Hold.
handle this. This is sweat.
I'll take over. I'll take over. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I see that King Jack suit all in, I don't care what solvers say. I don't care what the AI overlords tell me. I don't like it. I don't like it. And you know, chippy VYs is going to be fine. But personally, I think that the solvers haven't quite caught up with a lot of what ICM says about like future ICM implications. That's a really big thing. I know you do have like iterative ICM things. It's getting a little bit deep in the weeds for some people, but there's also the other thing is if you have edge, if you're better than the other players on the table, well, suddenly you don't want to be taking such high variance plays because you're going to be accumulating chips off them, especially in an ICM situation anyway. And personally, I'm not a big fan of those like super high variance, high chip plays. I think that people will probably grow out of it at some point, but you know, I could definitely be wrong on that as well. You see a lot over the years. You see a lot of trends come and go in the poker world. You see a lot of people playing. You know, there was probably like a 2 year period where everyone was defending like 90% on final tables. Like I saw Fedor defend like 6 deuce offsuit, or other people defend like Jack deuce offsuit. And my friend Ben Heath and I were sitting there just like, no, we're not going to do that. Not going to agree. I don't care what their solvers say. We're not going to do that. And then 2 years later, they grew out of it and they realized they were under realizing their equity. They were getting in a lot of like reverse, like ICM incentive spot situations. And yeah, these things come and go. And I do believe that a lot of these big shoves have a lot of merit. But in this specific situation, where there's maybe a couple of weaker players at the table that he can kind of bully with his big stack, I don't actually like that big shove. But Alex Kulov is one of the best in the world, so there's always going to be a lot of reasons that he did it. Other things to note when that recreational player who was playing, in my opinion, the most fun out of everybody at the table was playing. He did have a timing tell. And here, if you're interested in poker and crushing, I've played a lot of the low stakes on my YouTube channel just to show people the number one note I ever take on anybody is timing tells. On good players, bad players, whatever players. This is online, not live, obviously. We've got real tells in it. And he did a thing on the turn, which he snap called a weak hand. You know, he had top pair on a really scary board versus a pot size bet. It was definitely a weak hand. And he was trying to give across that he had a stronger hand. It's a very common psychological thing that you run into. And what I would write there is SC MSDV. And that is snap called marginal showdown value. One of the most common notes I've ever taken on anybody in my 10 years in poker. SCMSDV, snap calls marginal showdown value, and that means that you can often bluff them in a lot of runouts, but sometimes they're just feeling sticky and it doesn't really matter. and they're just gonna call you anyway, like you did in that situation there.
It's interesting you say that. Do you ever feel you get? I found it. I was a little sweat actually because some of the things weren't working here. But do you find people ever, use? You say they fold though, because like there he called. That was a tough, sort of a tough run out in some respects for his hand. I guess he just felt like he does still beat a lot of bluffs. But yeah, you do feel that's one of the stronger tells. That's just like one of your go-to.
One of the most common ones, yeah. It's interesting. People never really give reverse timing tells for the snap calls. I like to do it all the time, but I never see other people doing it. One of the most common reverse timing tells you'll ever see in your life, and I've a million times just had alarm bells ring off in my head to the point where I now really trust it because I've seen it, is imagine you're like 3-betting pocket aces from the small blind against the button. And you bet the flop on like 10-4-3 and they call, and the rip turns like a 3. You bet like 2/3 pot and they tank for ages. And they just like, and then they call. It's always pocket tens. It's always the nuts. It's always the absolute nuts, because it's such a common human thing where you're like, I'll make it look like it's a tough decision. Whereas if they have like something like a 10 or something like pocket nines, they know they're going to be calling anyway. They might take a few seconds, but they don't. There's just something that so many people do.
Yeah.
So if you guys ever want to stop me from bluffing 10 call turns against me, I'm checking that river every time.
I love it. And what are you doing now, poker wise? Are you playing? You said I know you took a pretty big break and just sort of dialed it back, but like, what is your actual, like, give me a weekly or monthly sort of, what type of poker work, if any, are you doing?
Yeah, so I play a lot because I like to coach, and I love to take people from like the micro stakes to the low stakes to the mid stakes to the high stakes. I tend not to coach high stakes players too much apart from in live tells now. And I'm fortunate enough that I can still charge tens of thousands of dollars to teach people live tells. I do consider myself the best in the world for that, although there's obviously going to be other people that compete. So a lot of my time is spent just like keeping up to date with a lot of the strategy, keeping my mind sharp enough that I can always understand it, but not trying to keep up with a lot of the theory that somebody like Alex Kulov will be keeping up to date with. Because for me to be stuck in a room with GTO bots and stuff like that, it's just not the life I want to be living. So I do a lot of strategy things. I do a lot of challenges for my YouTube. I did the bankroll challenge. I do other coaching. I have conversations and debates with other coaches like Jungle Man or whoever else, and Phil Galfond, and we talk through hands, and we have a lot of fun like that. So I'm still very involved with the poker world. It's just I don't it's not my path at the moment to be grinding it full time. What about you, man? Where you at with it?
I love playing. I am not doing a ton of, other than the weekly commentary here, and obviously I enjoy as well. So I try to talk when I can, poker strategy, have friends that are pretty, current and play a lot. And I love to run stuff by them and get thought processes. But yeah, I'm not playing a ton. I played the World Series, had a good run the main event, went for like 10 days. And hold that thought. This is what I love. I love the mini games. We got the cards down. We got to use you here, Charlie, for this. So we got 9-10 off, blind on blind. This is one of the situations we see so much in poker, and one of the ways you can improve a lot in poker because it's a big tree. What are you doing here? 9-10 off.
I'm always checking, 100,000,000% checking.
Yeah.
You do want to be very aggressive in this spot, but 10-9 off is just such a nice hand to see a flop with, and it's just so sad if you get shoved on. So yeah, definitely checking. With a hand this strong on the flop, you can mix in a check. You generally want to be betting probably something like 2/3 to half pot. You want to be putting a lot of pressure on Duco. You want to be making sure that he knows you can play for stacks, and so he's already going to be in a really tough spot with a bunch of his overcards. And this is the kind of hand that you really can just blast off the flop and the turn, and then make a lot of big decisions on the river about whether to keep going. Against a check raise, there's only one thing we can do, of course. We have to click that call button. And this is getting spicy. Spasiba. All right.
Jack. Interesting card. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Real decision for Duco.
Real decision. My instinct says that Duco would underbluff the flop. That would be my intuition. It doesn't mean he's not going to have bluffs. It just means I think he's not going to find as many as he would value hands. That being said, let's find out. So there's a few options you could go with here. This is one of them. You could go this, you could check, and you could bet smaller. I think with ICM, you probably just want to go this size. You probably want to be doing this with all your value hands. You know, if you have Jack 10 here, you definitely want to be going for stacks. So it makes a lot of sense that, you know, you do this with your bluffs as well. Smaller could also make sense because you're up against somewhat of a polarized range.
Wow. Wow. This is 2/3 of the possible meat rack. The check raise. And this actually, I mean, this is wow.
Damn. Yeah,
Oh,
makes
Jack
a lot
King.
of sense. Makes a lot of sense. What Alex is saying by folding there is saying, I don't think that you have enough bluffs in your range, Mr. Duco, to be able to justify calling here because he easily has the odds. But what if
Yeah.
he's drawing dead?
Wow.
And I don't actually think he's going to be drawing dead that often, to be honest. Like I don't think Duco is going to raise a full house on the turn. I don't think that makes any sense. So I'm surprised to see the fold there. Pretty surprised to see it. But yeah, he's really just saying he doesn't think Duco's going to be giving up on the river enough, which means he thinks that he's going to be value heavy a lot, which was my intuition on the flop as well. I think he was going to be value heavy in that spot with the ICM and everything. Fascinating. I like these mini games, man. Good job on whoever chose that as a hand to look at.
Yeah, that was a cool hand. Very cool hand. Interesting as always. We see some of those throughout. And let me pick up, what was I saying? I was saying poker wise. So yeah, playing a bit tournaments. I love a 4-card and 5-card PLO. That's like the South Florida. That's sort of the main game is 5-card PLO. I just love that game. I just think it's fun.
Whereabouts in Florida are you at?
Key Biscayne, like South Florida, like Miami area. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
I
My
love it
wife is
there.
from Orlando, so
Okay,
I'm
very nice.
relatively familiar with. Well, it's not that nice to be honest. It's a little bit of a swamp.
Well, it's yeah, the weather's nice. Orlando, South Florida, just in general. I've been Florida. I think it's the weather's nice. It gets hot in the summer, but it's a nice place. That's you. How often you
Yeah.
guys go there?
I haven't been in a while because I had some issues getting into America recently. But she goes back pretty often. I think in the the rankings of where Florida, Floridian cities are, I think Orlando's kind of near the bottom. Miami's probably near the top. So
I haven't really spent much time at all in Orlando. I've been at Disney World, like that's literally it, a few times.
yeah, I
So
think
I don't know
that's all they
much.
got. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
When I met her, I was like, "Oh, Orlando, that's pretty cool. It's pretty exotic." She's like, "No, trust me, it's not. We've got alligators and swamps."
Interesting. Yeah. I guess I don't know. In golf, I think there's a fair amount of golf there too. I'm as of most of Florida, but yeah, I'm not too familiar. And here we got real hands, nines and kings.
The
Bryn.
fake Bryn's in trouble, man.
This is a tough board. This is definitely an 887, 877 Rainbow versus Duco with the Kings. I mean, this is yeah, it's gonna be hard to knock it away unscathed at the moment. Of course, could hit a 9 or some running straights, but it's a pretty solid flop for 9s, and he is, like you said, gonna be tough to not lose much
Yeah,
here.
there's not much you can do here. Just call and probably lose 2 streets unless the turn's particularly scary. And maybe you can make some. Okay, he's definitely losing a couple of streets. Pretty scary if you're Duco now. Like fake Bring can have a lot of 7x. Well, not a lot. He can have some 7x. He can have pocket 7s, pocket 8s, and pocket 10s, and pocket aces. So you're not even that thrilled to go bet shove here. You probably still can, but I wouldn't be surprised to see either a bet check or a bet check bet given ICM situation. He does check back the turn, just showing exactly how pocket pair heavy fake Bryn is in this kind of spot. Sorry if it is the real Bryn, by the way. I saw the Canadian flag. I thought it was probably fake Bryn now.
I think this came up and someone told me a while ago. I think that it was on, and I realized it was not him, or someone made a note to me, and then I realized. But yeah, I'm actually not positive. I should maybe we shoot one of us. We can shoot him a text and check. But I don't know on that, and I don't think Canada does seem like a fake flag. And I think he was like on Mexico, if I remember back in the day, or somewhere. I forget.
Not a big fan of this bet. In my opinion, this is pretty bad. It's almost a bluff, but it's not quite a bluff because you can't really get too many better hands to fold. And as you can see here, Duco genuinely a bit like, oh man, it doesn't feel good. Like, is he going to value it worse? Maybe not. What are his bluffs? But I'm really not a big fan of this bet from Bryn. I wouldn't have minded to see an all in as a bluff. But I think this size is just like you're only getting caught by better.
Yeah, I mean, is there right? I guess what are you're saying? Wow,
What the
wow.
heck? Wow. Okay, so Duco's in a different dimension to me and Bryn. Duco is going.
That's that I did
Duco's
not see
saying,
it
"Yo,
coming.
he's basically saying, yo, I think you have specifically queens or jacks based on this sizing, or maybe ace 10 suited. Um, and he's really going full exploit here. Like this is not a normal play at all. This is really impressive that he's
Oh,
managed to find this. Yeah, he's going full exploit, saying, hey, I think your sizing is weak. I don't care about the 8x or 7x that you have. I don't care about the pocket 10s and pocket aces that you might have. I think that you're weaker because you use this sizing. And that is
wow.
a fascinating raise.
Yeah, that's like you said, world class. Just really just understand the situation. And now if you're Bryn, you sort of have a predicament because this is like, wow, could he take an ace X or a king queen? You know, he gets called. I mean, this has got to be
Wow.
the hand of the day. Duco,
Wow, that is
cheers on
crazy.
that. Very nice play, and he is in a healthy spot all of a sudden.
Who is
Fat
this
pot.
Duco guy? I gotta get a look at this guy. Is that
Big.
his real name?
I'm not sure on
Yeah, it is. It's his real name.
Go Haven. Oh yeah, he's won the million before. GGMillions, very strong player. He's got some very good results and a very well played hand there. So Bryn now at a million, a little bit short. Everyone's sort of chipped up. There's not a lot of like super short stacks, and we're sitting on like 20 blind poker for 3 players, and then Leon a little ahead of that as well as Ilya. So lot to play for. A couple weak aces in the blinds. Going to see a fold, and we see ace deuce off for ding bow. This is definitely these ones are tricky, and on these stack sizes, I have seen players just kind of more folding or even taking a bluff instead of flatting. What do you think there with the weak ace deuce, ace six off, these type of hands?
It's interesting you say that. I haven't been paying too much attention like you have to the high stakes, but it's something I do a lot, and I did throughout my career is make some really ostensibly tight folds where
Mm-hmm.
I'd fold the big blind with hands like that because you just don't get that much when you hit your ace, and sometimes you're just losing your entire stack. So you often will get one continuation bet, but you're often it's just not that great a spot. And yeah, I probably still would have defended in this exact situation just because the ICM isn't so much of a thing. But it's interesting people have been making those folds.
Yeah.
And we're about to see it. We're about to see a Classico. Ooh, maybe not. What do you think? Okay, so let's imagine that Johanna shoves it. Do you think Leon's going to go with it?
Yeah.
I think he's going to
Yeah.
go with it.
I do because well we're seven-handed. Also the fact that Alex as the chip leader, we kind of just give him I think less
Yeah, we
less
give
weight on
bananas,
his
don't we?
hand,
Yeah.
and then you realize like Johan's gonna have jacks tens, still probably not gonna fold those hands. You're gonna flip sometimes,
I think
and
he'd
maybe
fold tens. I think he'd fold tens. I think you're up against jacks, queens, kings, aces, and ace king when he shoves in. But I think you still have to call just because pot odds and the fact that you're
yeah
up against ace king a lot.
yeah. Also Alex maybe likely has a king or an ace in his hand too. Maybe just like slight difference
That's
just
that's a good
matters
point. That's a
a
good
little
point.
bit, little bit.
Nice potential blocker. That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but I mean, look, seven-handed, you got queens. You don't love you don't love to flip here with this stack situation,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't see it.
you're not happy about this at all. But I think just the fact that you're up against ace king so often, 16 combinations of ace king, only six of aces and kings, is definitely something you want to be thinking about. And there's pot odds. But that being said, look, there's two shorter stacks that you're playing up against. So the ICM is real. So it's not like a fist pump kind of situation. Do you think, is he ever going to go with jacks here? Maybe, but maybe not. He might not. So it's yeah, it's definitely not a fist pump get in. I personally would. But I wouldn't be shocked to see it fold it. And this is something that really shows the power of ICM at final tables. It's like usually queens for this many big blinds is just like the happiest person in the world. But here,
Is he considering seeing a flop and deciding on stuff here just to realize he might just really be up against ace king so much
good
or
idea. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, maybe you just see a non-ace or king flop and just take the lower variance way of playing against ace king. Um, yeah, that's a very interesting idea.
Wow.
Does make the fold. Damn, disciplined, very disciplined. Johanna's also going for a small four bet there. Can look very scary. But probably not so much at these levels. People know that you can make those moves. But maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, you saw that small four bet from anyone in the world that was like a good play. It's like it's only ever aces.
Yeah.
This is how poker's changed over the years.
High level stuff. I mean, Leon, like I said, he just won a GG Millions this season. As a matter of fact, he's also just took down the 50K WSOP High Roller, so he is in good form and just really interesting hands. Let's see how it pans out for him. Could have been a big flip. Would have been either out or doubling up to a very healthy stack. But he
Yeah.
did pass, and I mean, again, sort of a testament, I think, to his saying how comfortable he feels. That he's like, look, I 7-handed queens in this raise. The 3-bet, 4-bet, like I don't want to get it in here. So I think that's again, he has a lot of faith in his ability to find good spots.
Very interesting and poignant note to be making here that Alex is defending the 6 deuce suited snap defender. Didn't think about it. And the reason, or one of the reasons for that is, first of all, he's getting good odds, but second of all, he knows that as the big stack, he is going to get a lot of situations like this one exactly, where it's going to be very hard for Ding to play back against him because of ICM. And this is just one of the many, many nice perks you get of going to a final table as the big stack. You just get every single spot is just on steroids. And Ding finds the small raise. Damn, this guy's good.
Wow.
This guy. That was a very nice. That was a very nice raise. Very interested to find out who Ding is. I had him pegged as a recreational player, but he knew to open the ace jack instead of shove it, which most recreational players wouldn't. And then that was a very nice raise.
Cheeky hand there, yeah. Very strong, very understanding of the situation, what Alex is repping, and actually got him to fold a decently strong hand in that spot. So that is well done. And now Alex with ace 10 suited, 40% to a royal in the small blind, 6 deuce offsuit. I mean, he's folding queens. No, he's not going to play here. Let's see. Did he? Oh, I'm sorry. There's an open. There was an open.
Yeah, I didn't see the open either,
Interestingly
actually.
enough, he would have hit the trip deuces there, but 6 deuce off, not going to come and defend. Queen king.
Alex getting pretty out of line there with the call on the flop. I don't know if I'm being results oriented because I can see that fake Bryn has a king, but that call on the flop is pretty out of line. Offensively out of line. And even though he gets the best run out to bluff, I don't know if he's gonna make king queen fold here. It's hard to turn up with too many big diamonds in this spot. It's not the easiest spot to turn up with too many great value hands.
Right.
Yeah, if Alex backslid, what do you think? For that size, you can't fold. So
Yeah, don't think he can fold. I think yeah, I guess Alex has ace jack off, ace queen off. Maybe he would just 3-bet ace queen with the stack size or shove it. I think,
the offsuit varieties, he might decide to 3-bet, which is the problem.
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, he's kind of just with that size, he's kind of repping like small flush, but I don't know about that. Disagree with the whole hand, but I mean, Alex is one of the best, so you got to stay humble. Sometimes as a coach, you run into other people's hands and you say, I don't understand why he did that. I think it's bad, but very often I'm wrong. So and this is one of the beautiful things about poker. No matter who you are, you're not going to know what the best play is. There's no solver in the world that can tell you what the best play is because you're playing against a human being and not a solver.
Yeah, it's a very interesting to see, and I think that is again one of the best ways to learn. When you see something that you think is bad, especially if you're a student of the game, you play, you understand the game. Those are the hands you want to check on. Those are the hands you want to talk to your peer group. You want to look into. You want to ask questions. You want to see what's going on because it is, it's the game is changing a lot, and there's also more than one way to play hands. What are your thoughts on randomizing? This was weird. I was playing the APT here live. There was a lot of talk and kind of jokes about this now, and like you know how people just like it's kind of cop out in a way. You go, oh yeah, like yeah, I went all in, or I did this, I randomized. Like, what are your actual thoughts on that topic of playing poker and randomizing in hands?
So it's funny. I've been known as the FGTO kind of person, as the person that's like, don't
Yeah.
do GTO. I've been saying this for maybe like 7 years, and obviously, it's a little bit of a meme. There's loads and loads of value to understanding the game through of the game, but one thing I will never get behind is randomizing, and here's why. In poker, in the solver streets, you can randomize whenever you want because there are two things that are of equal EV because you're playing against another artificial intelligence. So you can randomize because who cares when they're equal EV?
Yeah.
But when you're playing against another human, there's no way it's going to be equal EV because even one slight adjustment to someone's range or frequency or anything like that, suddenly the whole equation is out. One option is going to be higher EV than another. So by randomizing, what you're saying is, hey, I'm waving this white flag and I'm saying I don't know what's higher EV and I'm just going to see what happens. And okay, sure, sometimes you do genuinely want to mix because you don't want to give away your strategy, you don't want to be too face up, but almost always nobody's going to know how you're unbalanced. Nobody's going to
Right.
understand that. So by waving the white flag and saying I ain't going to make that decision, in my opinion, it's a cop out.
Right. Yeah. I'm more aligned with that, but at the same time, I do see some of the best players in the world doing it a lot and stuff. And I just, I don't know. I think it's interesting. And here we go. This is a
Love this
pretty
lead.
spicy flop here. And for a problematic card would be an 8. A diamond does come. Bryn has the 10 of diamonds. So definitely some hand that he does not have the best hand. He's got a interesting candidate to get after it. And Duco, this is a less appealing card for him, but let's see. He still has some. I mean, I guess in the big blind, he's going to have a wide defend. He's got 3 million stack as well. So he does continue his story here.
It's a very good card to keep bluffing, and Duco is going to be relatively balanced here when he leads. I think it was the third pot on the flop, and it's interesting again how we were talking about how poker changed over the years, and even about 2 years ago, leading a third or a quarter on these kind of boards used to print money because all the solver people just hadn't studied it, and so what you're meant to do is you're meant to find a lot of raises. You're meant to find a lot of raises against the big blind leads, but people didn't, and so they were either just like folding or calling or just like really stuck on what to do. Nowadays, people are a lot more studied in these kind of situations, and it's still a good play, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. Interesting run out. What are you doing here as Duco?
I mean, you don't have a diamond. You have the 5. You got the 8-5 suited. So I guess, are you defending 5-8 off, or, your hand here? I guess you hit some showdown. I'm torn either way here. The problem is you don't really want to be calling a bet, right?
Yeah,
Calling,
I
getting
think it's
bluffed.
hard
So
hard to win if you check
right. So I
because
think you have
the
to
worst hands are going
find
to bluff.
some sizing here, and he does check
Oh,
though.
damn.
But wow,
Scary proposition here to be betting as Bryn here, as Bryn in this spot because your opponent can be trapping an 8 or a flush. Unlikely, but can be. And what sizing do you want to go? And what happens if you go too small? He might end up hero calling with like one pair, thinking that you have a lot of hands like you do, or maybe like ace jack with a jack of diamonds or something like that. So really, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. You want to go big because you want to fold him off the 1 and 2 pairs, but you don't want to go big because your opponent can be trapping, and then you lose your whole stack if he is. And so he does find the in between. And Duco, not with a snap fold, shows that he really understands the situation here. What is fake Bryn Kenny repping with this? He's repping maybe only an 8. Could he be doing this with a flush? I think exploitatively, I don't think he would. And he does
wow,
find the call. Oh
wow,
my
wow!
goodness.
Is that another
What
highlight
a
hand
call.
in the Duco's bucket today? That is a very strong hand. He has got the tie for the chip lead right there. Well executed. That is exciting. That is a marquee hand, Charlie. That is what we come here for. Big players, big plays, and a great call. And wow, what a play.
I'm genuinely like I'm empathizing with fake Bryn Canny here, just so everyone knows this isn't real Bryn Canny, but it's he just got owned twice in a row by the same player. He had nines versus kings, and Duco went for the max exploit, max raise, like max value raise there. And
Yeah.
that queen five hero call, three to a flush, four to a straight, has one pair, and just thinks that fake Brinkeni sizing was too bluff heavy, and calls with one of the worst hands that he can possibly have in that situation.
Well,
Really just goes to show he's going full exploit mode against this player, and really is just tuned in to the frequency that fake Brinkeni's playing at.
that was high level. That was fun. That was definitely fun. And here we go, 9-6 again. Another modest holding, pretty, not a great river, and he is going to go ahead and bluff. I
Damn,
mean, sorry,
Duco
semi
just
blocker.
crushing today, man. Just
Cracking
finding that
value.
max value, man. This guy's great. I got to pay more attention to Duco. This is the real Duco.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, and I'm not positive on that. And here we go, ace king for ding, and no one really anything picks it up. Ding bow. We have seen the stack. The short stacks, interestingly enough, have sort of elevated. Right, we saw a few 600K stacks. Britton is at 600, but there's the other stacks are now over 1 million, sort of chipped up. That Ilya was short, and Johannes also, as we see a problem for Johannes,
Oh,
though.
this is not looking good for Johannes. I think he was one of my players as well, and I mean, an all in here is extremely reasonable. But he does go for the call. He does find the call. Does play the safe because of the ICM. He's in third, but Alex is just going to be opening so wide here, like so unbelievably wide against two of the shortest stacks.
This is an interesting spot. How mandatory is it in this this is not a great board, right? You have ace jack. I mean, I guess you don't have a club, which kind of works in two different ways here for you, but it feels too if you fold here, it feels like you're just getting abused, but at the same time, like the runouts, there's not a lot of great situations, but are you always calling here?
I'm personally not folding there.
Right.
Personally I think that our ranges are so protected. We have so much queen X. You know, we have all of the king queens, the queen jacks, queen tens, queen nines, queen eights, queen sevens, etc. That I don't think we're going to get too bullied on a lot of runouts. Alex very intelligently finding a big size on that turn. Now imagine if the big blind did have something like queen three, he would have been in a really tough spot even with
Yeah.
top pair against that size with the ICM. So really intelligently sized bet there from Alex, taking a hand that has very little. He has king, so it makes a lot of sense. But putting the big blind's range
Ooh.
in a lot of pressure at
Ooh.
least.
Is this the time for a flat 20 blinds, chip leader?
It
You want to
might
lead
be.
them
It
and know
might be
he's
the
light?
time for this spicy trap. What do you think?
Leon, I feel like is not afraid to go for max and spots. He just seems like a well thought, calculated player. At the same time, could make a small three bet, try to induce a jam.
Small
But
three bet, I think, is probably the play, given that there's a shorter stack, which is a shame, but it's actually such a good spot to bluff as well. Like if you're just here with like ace five offsuit, because Alex is just gonna have loads of bananas, and
yeah,
he does take it down.
yeah, I guess part of the to flat there as well. If the stacks behind are more shove stack heavy, and there wasn't really like a shortish, like the trap that might induce sort of someone to rip it in. I just feel like that's also part of it. But yeah, it does go for the small three bet, takes it down, and we are gonna see again. We are still 7-handed. Lost a couple early. Thank you for being here. Let us know where you're watching from. And if you want to enjoy the show with the thumbs up, we appreciate that. Also, will be the first half of the third part of the giveaway, which will be a $50 or $100 ticket at the end of the stream. So please get that in and pin tweet $50 cash, man. I mean, Charlie, you do $50 bankroll challenges, right? Small, you run it up. $50 can go a long way. What's your most memorable, impressive in your mind bankroll challenge that you have completed?
Well, kind of my whole career, to be honest. Like I started with $50, and that was the max I had in my life at that point, and we managed to profit millions and millions and millions of dollars, and there's many people like that as well. And I will say that, there's a lot of people that will be listening right now that would love to have their own story like that, and it's very possible, though obviously you can't promise that to anybody. It's only a small percentage of people actually manage it, but what an opportunity you have with so many of these giveaways, so many of these deposit bonuses. Like GG just throws money at people to incentivize them to sign up. And, the dream of poker is still very alive. As you can see from today, everyone's still playing so differently, which means there's room for improvement. if everyone was playing the same perfect game, okay,
Yeah.
maybe poker's not alive, but everyone's got this crazy style, even at the highest levels. So imagine how it's going to be at the slightly lower levels and the lower levels and the lower levels. There's so much money to be made out there. So I mean, to me, $50 is it's the same as having $1,000 in GG. It's a tool to get good at poker, so then you can just make as much money as you need to be making. And so you would have $50 to your name, start at the $2 buy-ins, and then see are you good enough to be able to beat the lowest stakes on GG, which have the softest player pools probably in the world. I've been playing a lot on GG recently. If you can't tell, I've been doing another challenge behind the scenes. So yeah, I mean, $50 is enough to prove that you can beat 2-0, and then get it up to like $120, prove that you can beat 5-0, and etc. etc. And here, do we see a check on the flop and a bet on the turn? We must
He bet the turn. Wait, so he bet small turn and I guess pre-flop with the thing. Yeah, I think that was
yeah, must be
check and bet small.
Yeah, unfortunate for Alex here. He's gonna be losing this pot very often unless he somehow finds the magical bluff. But no, he doesn't find it. He's just up against a pretty strong range here. And Leon considering the bluff, very interesting consideration here. Not finding the snap check, thinking, am I gonna be good here? Did my opponent just river a jack? Can I find a shove here? That'd be kind of wild. But no, he just finds a very safe play. Very happy to see the eights. Very happy indeed.
Yeah, not a great river. There are certainly some Jack X and some bluffs. Also, just Alex has such a wide range. He could show up with Jack Queen off or ace, for sure, an ace Jack off and with a spade. Did probe with the 8 on the turn, the 8 of spades, and not a huge pot. Could have been bigger. Leon really playing. I don't want to say. He just seems very focused, very disciplined, and he's had some great results as we mentioned earlier. So I'm curious. Really been fun to watch him play, how he sort of thinks about the game and approaches it. And overall, play's been strong. I like what we see.
Some really interesting plays, and again, just like a kudos as the reverse domination comes in. A kudos to Leon for even thinking about the river there. 90-something% of players just snap check behind the river there, right? Who considers turning tens into a bluff when your tens is some decent amount of time going to be the best hand? Not many people. He didn't have a spade, but he at least thought about it, which is really, it gives you a good insight into the mind of Leon. He's one of those players that isn't playing inside the box that most other people are playing. He's thinking, okay, maybe this is a situation to make an unconventional play. Let me think about it. Okay, it's not. Whereas, yeah, I think maybe like 95% of people just Snapchat about the river there.
Yep, and not a crazy bet here. Jack 7, actually chopping, right? Jack's 10, 7 kicker. The 7 doesn't play, so this will be
pairs.
Imagine just a call. I wonder if there's ever a world. We saw Duco go for some thin value with rivering top pair on this board in this particular run out. Does he decide that he wants to make and kick it up?
I think everyone should start repping a boat. That's my opinion. Oh my god, he does find it. And he finds us now.
Yeah. Chop it up. Duco going for the check raise there, chops the pot, and we are still 7-handed, and there is a couple of playable hands. Ilya, we saw open queen 10 suited under the gun, 9-handed to start, decides to fold here. A little different situation, different stack size, and also he is in early position, does give it up. King Jack Ding Bao, sort of a mandatory. I mean, he's got 23 big blinds. Going to open. Going to get some bad news from the chip leader on his left, Duke O'Haven, or one of the chip leaders tied with Alex. And just a matter of sizing here. How big does he have to go? Maybe not that big. It's Ding Bao sort of short. Goes to a 2.5x size. And King Jack Ding, you don't love it. You know you're getting messed with here a decent percentage of the time. It is inviting to go ahead and rip it in. I think suited he might do that, but as played, does Ding have the discipline? Bryn also, how do you approach this when you see Bryn stack there 470? You're Ding, you min raise, your opponent's gonna have some 3-bet bluffs. How do you weigh into the respect of that short stack, or are you sometimes finding reasons to make that to rip it, to think that the player's just taking advantage of that? How do you come across
I'm a big fan of table dynamics, and I'll try and feel you know, is this player gonna over 3-bet or under 3-bet? And I'll try and do that before he 3-bets, you know, so I'm not like biased by the fact that he did. In general, I would find a lot of 4-bet shoves there as the cutoff.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this exact configuration where people are going to be a lot more balanced, but
Yeah.
I've just seen a lifetime of people over 3-bet bluffing in these spots, trying to put on ICM pressure with way too many hands, and you just 4-bet shove every single hand you have and just pray they don't have the value. But in this exact configuration, I can see that not being the best play because perhaps he's going to have a decently balanced range.
Yeah, and fives has a very small bet to call here, although not loving the board. I mean, Broadway Queen 10-10, but you realize that your opponent may not have a pair. You have a pair. You could hit a 5. Is he debating?
Yeah, this is a weird spot where if Ding bets a third, you're out of there. If he min bets, you're in there. It's like this is just about big enough to really make you consider it. I'd throw in the fold, I think, at this point. But given that Bryn is now shorter, maybe you get some bluff runouts and ICM, etc. So it's not an easy decision there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice spot to kind of illustrate the difference between the nuance of betting one big blind or 1.3 big blinds or a third pot there. It's there's so much nuance to the game that a lot of people watching won't realize. And you're really trying to work out at the time like defense frequencies, but then also like how the ICM and what kind of runouts would be good for you. Can you bluff? You know, there's so many factors. And here's the cool thing about it. Nobody knows the right answer. And the only thing you can do is feed your mind with all the input that you have and then use your intuition to take that multivariate analysis and come up with the best answer you can. And that's what every single person on the table is doing.
Yeah, that's great. Great point. Great analysis, and we've got some unbelievable play there. I've seen that there's definitely a few highlight hands that stand out for me so far. Duco on the cusp of the sweep of the interesting hands today. He has been made some really nice plays with the modest holding.
I'm just amazed by the two hands that we've seen. They've just been fantastic. That Queen 5 really out of line, crazy. He knows that people are going to see it, and he just doesn't care. He's like, you know, I've got a sizing tell here. I think that he's going to be over bluffing, or at least bluffing enough. I think he might go bigger with a flush. And the pocket kings, I think is even sicker, even though it doesn't look it. It's really like. It's an FU to fake Bringani because it's saying like, hey, I'm that certain about your sizing tells here.
It's a good point. It really is sort of a to go for that thin value, you have to get it, to actually get called, to go for it, to not have a guy have you beat. All of the things have to go right, and just got it done. And Bryn, a very attractive hand here for his six blinds. He's got 3.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna see an all in probably. I think Duco is going to be going with this and not much longer.
Yeah,
has to go with it here for 6 blinds because fake Brinkani is going to be shoving King Deuce suited.
Yes, he is. Sevens is got the lock at the moment. Runners not coming. Not a sweaty turn. That was conclusive. King comes, 7 comes, sevens win. Trip 7, 772 in the pot. Everything was working for the 7. A lot of sevens. A lot of
my stream we call that DOTT. That's dead on the 10. It's a nice place to be.
Dot right on the dot. He's out for a double, and Bryn is back in the game. This is 7-handed poker. Thank you for watching. We are joined by Mr. Charlie Carrel, who has almost 10 million in lifetime earnings. Pretty crazy. He's also done some unbelievable bankroll challenges. What is your actual? You mentioned coaching. Content wise, are you doing more challenges? Are you streaming some YouTube? What's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of stuff with some ridiculously high stakes with coin poker recently, and I've got this other challenge that I've been doing on GG, and the challenge is to go from $500 to $100,000.
Wow!
I've recorded maybe like 40 episodes. I've released maybe 2, and I'm going to put them on my coaching site and all of them because for me, when I first started in poker, the only content that I binge watched was the Gripsed Evan Jarvis bankroll challenge, and I just loved watching somebody play the stakes that I was trying to play better than I was, and just like look at all those like small nuances and small differences, like again hear and talk through his thought processes. And so that's what I try and recreate. I try and recreate the exact kind of content that helped me get a lot better. And some people don't like that. Some people prefer solvers and things. But for me, that's kind of what I like to bring to the table. It's just like, hey, here's a different way to play poker. Here's how I do it. Here are all the reasons that I do it, and let's just try and get rich together. And
Yeah.
I just love the challenge aspect of it.
All right, 2 chip leaders. What's going through your mind here? Alex flatting. Obviously, this is not the guy you want to be attacking with a premium hand and just getting involved, right? You don't want to get a all in or some kind of crazy scenario. So if you're Duco, Queen 10 suited, you open, and what are you putting Alex on flatting here?
Yeah, a lot of suited broadways. I think as probably as bad as Jack 8 suited makes a lot of sense. Maybe some Jack 7 suited, a lot of like Jack 10 off, hands like this. He's going to be 3-betting less of his kind of like crappier, weak ace-X like he was before because they're a lot deeper now. So yeah, he can have some suited ace-X. He can have some pocket pairs. So it's pretty wide, and I really like the pot size bet on the turn with the flush draw. Interesting note, it's often quite wise from a theory perspective and from an exploit perspective to bet big on turns with flush draws, because you're incentivized to get as much fold equity as you can then, because you're going to be giving up the river a lot theoretically, because you're going to have a lot of the, you're blocking a lot of the folds. It's getting a little bit deep in the theory weeds there, but generally big on turns of flush draws tends to be a really good play. He uses a size that's going to be putting Duco in the blender, even with a hand as strong as Ace King, and definitely a lot of his weak hands as well. So yeah, again, just a very, very eloquently played hand from Alex. Duco seems to be the more creative one so far, at least, and Alex just seems to be just hammering down the theory.
Yeah, and Queen 8 suited gonna jam King Queen off with a pretty big hand. How many blinds? I mean, we're talking. This is sort of a big ask to lay this down.
Yeah, it was like 19 bigs, right?
Yeah,
That's a big shove, and that was a big call.
big call. King Queen, Queen 8. Both players have a queen now. The king has landed, and Queen
Praying
8
for a
suited
chop.
is really hoping for help and asking for a lot. Not gonna get it. We're going to see Johannes go down to very short. Ilya is now healthy, 2.3 million. Big moment.
That was a big W for your dinner, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm aware that was important. That was an important one to hold.
Yeah.
That was very important. What do you think about that? The shove, Queen 8 suited, King Queen off, and we kind of have to call definitely King Queen.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the shove than the call.
Yeah.
I think the call is definitely the dubious one there, because you're going to be up against an ace a lot, and you got the player to your left who's about to be in the big blind off, who's sitting on, what was that, 13 big blinds or something like that, 12 big blinds. So yeah, it makes it not the easiest call in the world with King Queen, but I definitely don't blame him. Definitely puts him in a good situation now with ICM. He's now a clear third place. Whereas, if he folded, he's still bottom of the pack. So I don't blame him, but it's a little bit dicey.
Yeah. Well said. Ace Queen just flopping top, 7 Queen. Board picks it up and is 249,000 for Johannes, who is in a world of hurt. Ace 4 off. Alex getting licensed to fire. Has got the stack. Gonna go ahead and just pick it up. Not getting a ton of resistance.
This is the power of position of big stack versus big stack. He had the other big stack folds, and now he has just free reign to bully the table. So that's why it's so nice to be on the left of the other big stacks.
What are your thoughts on the GGPoker final table seat selection by chip leader?
See, I've not played too many GG tournaments, so I've only had the honor a couple of times. I've not had enough time to think about it, so I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm not crazy about it. I think it does incentivize action at some point, right? A bit for players to try to like jockey for the chip lead. I think that's how I look at it. Like down the stretch, I think it's interesting, but it is a huge advantage if you get to just get on the direct left as a chip leader and you get to select last in that lineup. I mean, that's it's a big advantage in the tournament.
I think my thought is that I like when things are different. And if it's different for everybody in an equal way, which it is, because you begin the tournament with the same amount of chips, then it's fair. And it means that people are going to be less studied and they haven't memorized all of these things as much. And that for me, I love playing games where other people are less studied, you know,
Yeah.
because I trust myself to be making good decisions. Big fold there. Was that Queen Eight suited again or something?
Yeah, it was big fold, and this man right here, Ilya, getting going. 2.3 million. It is another playable hand, and he is likely it's going to go raise and be dominating. Yo, Hannes in the big line, King Jack off is in a really tough position here, as no path out. Right, he has got what 3-4 blinds. King Jack. I mean, you just gotta run
Nothing to
it.
do. The only play you've got is to tank and annoy your opponents. That's the only thing you got. Or call and then shove every flop and get called on every flop. But nah, it's all in, and it's domination.
King Queen is in a massive lead, going to the river. Just under 7%, needs that 3 outer one time, and it is
Hey,
available.
let's go.
That is available right there. The Elky emojis. I was with Elky today at the office. Look at the Elky getting love out there, man. He's got that. People are rocking it. People are feeling it, and that was a bit. Look at this. All Elkies today. It's the Elkies world. Elkies world. Austria team flag is there.
GG's really leading the way on these emojis. It's like it's pretty OP. How
it is strong. And here we go. We got a dominated. No, I'm sorry. Ace 9, King 8 suited. King 8 suited going to connect with the flop. 4 5 8. Big blind's going to have some playable hands in here. You know, he's got to be a little worried. But King 8 suited, pretty good flop. Open King 8 suited, get called in a spot. 8 4 5. I mean, there are some 2-pair combinations. Of course, there's the straight 6 7 suited. How wide is Ilya supposed to call here, do you think? What kind of hands, like what's the minimum defend here, you think, what he would defend?
I think this is a very clear fold. And just because he just has so many like pair and straight draw hands, he has 2 pairs, he has sets, he's got all of this stuff.
I mean, pre-flop.
I think
How do you what do you think he's going to defend? How wide in that spot?
Yeah, pretty tight. I guess pretty tight. He's gonna still defend a lot of his suited hands, like, you know, a lot of his pairs and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the offsuit ones is you know, like the 8-6 offsuit and things like that. He's just gonna be folding 2 very short stacks on his left and right, so he's not incentivized to get in the mix at all. And the problem is, if you're not incentivized to get in the mix, that means you're also not going to be incentivized to check raise flops as a bluff, which means you're not going to see as many turns, etc., etc. So really, ICM just playing in every single street.
Yeah,
and it really is it's the fascinating thing about tournaments is that it's so unsolvable, but you just have a feeling, you know, just get a feeling. Oh, okay, I understand this kind of situation. I'm meant to play tighter, so maybe I'll go this tight. And yeah, it really is anyone's guess for a lot of these things.
Yep. Well, Alex, Ace Queen suited, King Jack off, maybe the only worthy hand to compete, but not in that spot. Not going to 3-bet there or do anything crazy. And here we go. Here we go. Mini game, Charlie. Your turn to shine. King Queen off in the big blind, playable hand. See who comes with what, and it's the Leon who's been very solid. Folded queens earlier, and Alex, if he's aware and of his style of player, maybe saw that hand. He's got an interesting decision. Just calls, and
Always
Ace Jack comes out.
All right, this is an interesting board. It's pretty easy for us to have a jack, and especially if we continue on this flop, what are we gonna have? We're gonna have a lot of ace x, a lot of jack x, and a few straight draws. That's it. That's 100% of our range is those 3 categories of hands. And yeah, and Leon saying, hey, yo, I'm saying I've got an ace or pocket kings or something like that. We're blocking kings and queens, the easy folds. And we do have other bluffs that we could possibly go for, but we got the big stack. I would personally give up here. Yeah, I'm glad that Alex is as well. I think that we just have too many perceived bluffs. We have the 10-8s now. We have the queen 10s. We have spades. I think that king queen is just not quite a good enough bluff to be taken there. I would actually significantly under bluff this situation on the river as Alex. I would just fold this. I mean, if he raises this is amazing, but I would just fold this. I think we're just up against an ace a lot. Or some crazy like strong range. So I'm very confused how this is going to be. I guess the hand.
Well, maybe he'll call one more and then no, just that's it.
Okay, right. Playing it like Alex. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a just release, gets out of the way, gives Leon some respect. And wait, did the hand pop up there? I didn't
Yeah,
see it.
the same hand, king queen.
Okay, well played by Leon. Yeah, I admit it. So it is king queen getting handed out right now. There it is, king queen under the gun for a short stack. Pretty much a mandatory jam. Looks like he'll have a customer. King queen
Yeah,
versus king queen.
got to get it in there now, and Leon's gonna snap him off.
Yeah, Leon, this is still a bit of his chips, but he will have the best hand. Knows Johan's going to have to shove pretty wide. Does call ace jack, king queen off to the races. Ace jack in the lead, 3-1 favorite. Going to a turn is clean, 6 outs, 1 time. Can ace jack hold on, deliver a knockout? It's been a while. There it is. It is not paint. It is GG's. Golfer
GG.
claps out there, and Leon, who has shown us his resume, he's on fire, and he's doing it here again today. Down to 6-handed Leon with 1,735,000 real hands again, and is it too much to show? What do we got? 30 blinds. I mean, no, this could just rip it, right? Chip leader button. Like, do you want to really set mine here? Or do you just take the spot?
Yeah,
Call and
I'm set mine in here with those shorties on my left. I'm like, hey, no set, no bet. See ya.
what is say all stacks are equal there? Where are you drawing the line to shove on that open or just call? Like, what? How low would you have to be? If the stacks, let's say there's
stacks
not
are equal. Yeah, maybe like it depends again. It depends if Alex, if everyone's on like 20 bigs, then I'll shove 20. You know, I'll shove like 23 bigs, 24 bigs, something like that. Maybe
we have a
22.
royal flush sweat. I don't want to play it down. I don't think we're gonna get a chance. Right? I don't see sixes getting around. We're not gonna get to see it, man. Come on, Alex, check it back for the fans. Let's get the royal moment.
It's an interesting spot there on the turn. If he sees a turn and the turn's a brick, he can actually kind of like merge bluff / value. He can better size that he's going to get his opponent to fold all like the ace deuce ace 3, but still is going to get a call from like king 10 jack 10. So one of those really interesting situations where you can go pretty exploit, even though you can't do that in solver land because solvers really do balance pretty well, but in human land you can go really exploit.
Jacks on the puck. Leon takes it down. 1.6 million. Ilya 1.7 and Bryn very short 287. Ding Bao kind of waiting out Bryn, right? Understanding how critically short he is, but at the moment Leon ace 9 suited pretty hand gonna be opening here, and
yeah, it's funny if you're Ding, you're like praying for somebody to open so Bryn doesn't shove on you. Yeah, like, I'll take it.
Yeah, it does help, especially when you don't have a great hand to play, as we still see a 6-handed poker going on. No one with much to work with. Bryn, though, an attractive
He's gonna
spot.
get a shove through. Let's go.
That is a big pickup, right? He's getting 70, 50, 120, 150. So he's getting almost over 50% stack increase with going all in with the modest hand. I mean, that's a good result for him no matter what.
That's fantastic to get those 2 snap folds.
Yeah. Ace 3 off. Well played. And it is now ace 9. A little
gonna get another one. Fake Bryn on a heater.
Bryn on a heater. That is exactly what's going on. Jack 6 off. Can't do much there. Gonna get out of the way. Ace 9 picks it up, and don't look now. Ding Bao was kind of had in his mind probably a courtesy spot, and a lot of hands here. Pair,
Damn,
king, queen, suited ace 6, queen 10 suited. There is stuff going on.
Does he get called by the big blind? Is the only one that can really call him here is the big blind.
Yeah, Ding hates this.
I think it's a fold. I think everyone's meant to fold.
I mean, he's got what, eight blinds exactly? 570, yeah, 70. So it's 8 blinds. Ding Bao does give it up. Everyone. I mean, Bryn is putting on a clinic here. He is now tied almost with Ding, and he's just going
fantastically good at those all-ins. I will say, it's very well executed. I was going to ask you, like, if you're fake Bryn in this spot, how is your mental game having gotten owned? And it happens to everybody, having gotten owned twice in a row by the same player, Duco.
It's not easy, it is. You have to make a note. You have to understand it. You can feel it too, right? The table, people are they're observing, they see it. You're kind of, the confidence can't be super high in the moment on what's happening here. But really, I give credit to Duco. I'm making some great plays too, like really strong plays. So
I think that's how you have to do it. You have to swallow the ego, swallow the pride, and just be like, man, I'm happy for you. You crushed me. Nah, I'll try and get you next time. But it's very hard not to let that stuff get to you in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Queen Jack, Ace King, Queen Jack, Not going to get involved. Then deuce, bing. Now, tell me about being. Is that like to fold that hand there? I mean, it makes sense. But like, what if you're the shortest stack, or how do you feel about defending sort of wider as you're the shortest stack in spots like that where you're closing the action with the hand like 10
Yeah, it's nice when you're at the absolute shortest stack. It's a really really nice situation to be able to do that, and
Yeah.
to be able to really just say like, hey, I don't care if I bust at this point. I'm just gonna try and hit a pair, and I'm gonna try and get it in. And you're almost like your opponents are almost unincentivized to try and push you around in some ways because you're so fearless at that point.
Yeah.
It's always quite a relaxing experience playing short stacked tournaments because as long as you know your ranges, there's not really anything that can go wrong. So it's always a bit like, well, it's in the fate of the gods now.
Yeah. Queen 6 suited, check back, 10-7, pretty standard stuff. Nice flop top pair, the 2 chip leaders, and 10-7 off. I mean, does decide he's interested in trying to win this hand. He does take a shot. Really, no immediate outs, nothing immediate going on. And the weak queen on the flop, just going to call ace turn, but picks up
This
the
is gonna be
diamonds.
spicy. I don't know. Duco can definitely find some big bets here. He's got more king 10. He's got aces, ace queen, jacks, ace jack. He's got all of these hands. Alex barely has anything. He happens to have one of the only hands that slow plays the flop. You know, it's nice to slow play your top and bottom pair pretty often for various reasons, and now happens to also just somehow have the second up flush draw. What a dream! In Hold'em, you never get 2 pair in a flush draw. That's a PLO kind of thing.
It does feel like a
But
PLO hand, but it's also at the same time, it's Queen 6 suited has a lot of potential, has the queen, doesn't love the ace. It is a diamond though, so certainly not going anywhere. Just a matter of there are some bad rivers
hey,
for.
check this long tank on the turn. That's what I was saying earlier. Someone just has like an unreasonably long tank on turns. Oh, okay, this one's a raise. Okay, that's different. I'm not a big fan of that raise. I'm not a big fan of that. It makes sense given that Duco went with a smaller sizing there. Duco's kind of saying like, "Hey, I've got an ace" or something like that. You know, I've got a queen, so it makes sense to go for a raise there. But I much prefer a call and just let my opponent go for it. And there's almost no bad rivers.
Jack Duco doing his thing. Alex back up to 5 million, pretty solid going on, and Bryn and Ding at the short stacks, not getting playable hands and not much playable here. As though Alex with the chip lead is going to go from the button. What percentage do you think he's opening the button in this particular case with these stacks?
That's a good question. Maybe like 70. 70 is going to be my guess. Like pretty wide. I can see him going down to suited, like 10 deuce suited hands like that. So maybe like 75. It really is like a nice spot. But it just depends how wide he thinks the big blind is going to be pushing him around, and if he's gonna get through it. And in some iterations, not in this table ever, but in some iterations of live poker and online poker, you can open 100% there. It's so fascinating how big of an adjustment you can make based on other people's adjustments to ICM. I remember I used to play I had this tournament once. It was like I was 20 big blinds on the bubble, and so I was meant to be like playing pretty tight over this 3,500 main event. I was opening 100% from every position, and there were loads of big stacks at the table, and they were just like mucking because it was the bubble. And they were like, they just wanted to hit that cat. They just didn't want to be the person that everyone was so scared. And at one point, I opened button, and the guy tanks to my left, and he's sitting there. He's the big stack, and I open the button off like 25 bigs, and he folds, and he waits for the dealer to take the big blind stand, and he shows me ace queen offsuit. He's like, "What if you had ace king? What am I gonna do?" And I was like, "Great fold, man." I had like 7 deuce offsuit or some crazy trash hand. Yeah, and it just really goes to show you, like, you never see what other people fold. And sometimes they're making ludicrous folds.
You don't, unless you're on GGMillions, and you get to see it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The greatest show on the internet for online poker weekly. Every week, great guests, great prizes, great players. Always a blast. Good to see you guys. Actually, I am in South Korea. It is 5:20 in the morning here. Got to say, I have 2 young children traveling with me. It has been an adventure. My wife, my father here, and I am. You guys know I'm the hype man. I'm a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little bit gassed. I'm trying to rev myself up here, and I also don't have the chat, which I usually have. So I apologize if I have not been giving you guys the TLC. I do want to have that giveaway. We'll put the keyword in the chat, and I will select a winner here today for 50 or 100. Again, you're on my side for 100. Charlie's for the 50, and it's actually tight. Kulev and Duco are duking it out. They are kind of neck and neck for the chip lead. It's pretty wide open. Leon, tough player, still healthy, and Ding gonna shove fives and get it through. Excuse me. Let me make a note here. I gotta try to get this giveaway sorted out here.
I will say that your ability to hype in such drastic situations is massively impressive. I know the pains of getting that little sleep, but to be sitting on a stream like that is genuinely very impressive. Maybe I can help you with the hype. He goes all in with the ace-8 offsuit, putting so much pressure on the big blind Ilya there with just good. Understanding the nuances of the game and the ICM. Really big 20 big blind shove, but no fear from Leon.
Listen,
and now we're seeing Ding with the challenge of the 13, 14 big blinds under, and he finds the min raise. No way.
He's going. Crowd goes crazy. He's finding it in the other part of that club. Broadway Royal is there, and Kulev, who has got definitely a hand he's going to want to put pressure with and play. Let's see how he approaches it. If
Bryn's sitting there with the final part of that part.
I'm surprised he doesn't. I guess he just doesn't want to 3-bet. He doesn't want to flatten. He doesn't want to 3-bet call off there. I mean, I think, is it just too shallow? Is that the problem to play?
Yeah, I think you're almost your king and the 10 are kind of like bad blockers now, because you kind of hoping that your opponent has king queen, jack 10, jack queen jack, hands like that. So this is a big spot. This is a big spot because Alex should be opening really wide. Leon with the flat.
This is the guy who's, I'm telling you, he's getting it done. He's like kind of the I feel like he's undercover still, but he just won the 50K World Series of Poker bracelet. He just won a GG Millions. He's in top form. He just seems to understand what's going on. Is he going to find a way out here? I don't know. Even so, is it just
what an interesting flat, because he just saved himself. I mean, looking at the flop, he just saved himself his whole stack, and it makes sense. Like, is Alex gonna go with jacks here? No, he's not gonna go with jacks. Is he gonna go with ace king? Yeah, aces and kings, 100%. So like, you're actually never happy if you get it all in pre-flop. So almost you'd rather just flat these queens. Is that an overbet?
It's a big bet. It is a big bet, and it is
a little bit.
With no club in your hand, unblocking club draws in the spot. It's, I guess, also figuring his opponent's going to have some big pairs there. Some like
what size did it's a little bit granulated.
Me too. I thought it was 500, but maybe it was 360s.
Yeah, it could have been 360. Could have been, but if it was a 560, that'd be wild.
Yeah, very interesting.
Great spot to either check or bet. Both options very, very nice here. I personally would go for a check here. I think go for a check, yeah, because I think I bet my stronger ace-x and then check a lot of my weak ones and just have a lot of like delayed continuation bets with my bluffs. Like if I have 7-8 suited here, I'll probably go for a check and then bet the turn.
Yeah. Yep, ace-9 suited now is a pretty good looking hand. Checks again, just doesn't, maybe again, respect for Duco, doesn't want to get put in the blender, doesn't want to open things up, and just decides that maybe, hey, I'm pretty safe against a lot of hands. And now the jack on the river, he actually does pair up the jack. Be curious.
Yeah, interesting leveling spot here where Alex is now going to go for some value, and Duco's like, what? Would he double check behind some massive, some super bluffs here, just like 7-8 suited, 8-9 suited? Would he go for the double check and the bet the river? And it really is like a leveling spot because nobody's going to be that balanced by the time they go for this line, because it's such a weird line. He goes for the triple check. You really thinks that he wasn't going to get paid? Fascinating stuff there. I don't know about that check on the river, man. I don't know about that one.
Well, maybe again a testament to Duco. He's paying attention. He's seen Duco put people in tough spots. He's seen Duco extract value, put people in and make some great plays, and he just got away. And Bryn finds 10s off the short side. And look at Alex, doesn't even consider 7s with this, the raise and the shove.
Love the snap fold, not wasting anybody's time.
Ace 3
cool
suited 10s. Cool. Here we are, ace on the flop, but action. Diamond is available, but 75%, 3 out of 4 times.
Come on, fake Bryn. Come on, the diamond, fake Bryn.
Oh, it is a 7, and it is a knockout. We are 5-handed. Bryn gone. That is GG golf claps around. Alex Kulev healthy in the lead, second, followed behind is Duco Haven, and Ding Bao finds tier 1, ace king suited.
Now, it's interesting. Is he going to go for the min raise again? He doesn't. He actually goes for the shove here. But before, he managed to find the induce with ace jack offsuit for 15 big blinds on the button. Now he goes for the shove with ace king suited when he's a little bit shorter. So very interesting adjustment. A lot of people will go for the min raise there as well, especially with the suited variety of ace kings. It flops better. But there's actually, it's interesting. Even off 12 big blinds, you have a lot of disagreements, a lot of different plays. Some people will even go for like a 2.5x open. And yeah, there really is a lot of things you can do off short stacks.
True, it's very true, and we are down to 5. I will put the giveaway up at 4-hand. It's going to be a keyword. I'm trying to see if I have some.
What's this keyword thing you're mentioning? I don't understand it.
So basically, it's going to be either a $50 or $100 giveaway, right? So I will put a keyword in the chat coming up here, and then the audience types it in, and then we'll do a giveaway from that. So we'll pick the winner, and then again, it'll be a 50 or 100 depending on which player ends up winning, but they will be eligible by typing in a phrase, I should say, that I haven't put yet. But once I get a little spammy in the chat, we're going to wait till it gets 4-handed. We'll drop that in, and that will be someone will be selected to win the $50 or $100 ticket. Of course, the hands up still eligible for the jackpot. Jack 9 of hearts, aces. You said, I forget the suits. I said Jack 9 of hearts. You got aces, and then we also have the hands up promo and my pinned Twitter tweet if you guys want to be in. So 3 giveaways as usual today on the GG Millions. Hope you're enjoying it at home. Again, all over the world. I know we have a lot of people watching from all different places. Let us know where you're at. South Korea here. I got to meet the team today, man. GG Millions. I got more love for them even than I did with this time zone tough, because they're here. They're in there. They're in the same area vicinity. They're doing the production. They do a great job, and it is late for them. So
I met some of the higher ups in GG, and recently I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed with a lot of the decisions they'd made around the software, around different things that they've been doing in the game, different moves they've been making. It was all coming from a really good place. I worked with stars in the past, and I've got a lot of love for PokerStars, but what happened is quite a lot of the decisions turned into kind of like more monetary based, and instead of like longevity of the game and things like this. But I really do appreciate how much the higher ups of GG really care about growing the game of poker. And obviously it's coming from a bottom line. They want to make money. They're a business, but they see that to make a lot of money in the long run, you have to invest, and you have to put it in the right players, in the right hands of the right players, and you have to really take care of the ecosystem. So I really was like genuinely deeply impressed with what I heard, and it was nice to see faces behind the kind of the faceless corporation, and the faces were genuine, poker fanatics. They love poker, and they just wanted to see it huge and grow. And it's a really cool company you got there.
It is. They do a great job, and some great team, and a huge office. It's really impressive how it started and where it's at. Hunt 3, almost 400, I think, employees there, and very, very cool. Very, very cool software-based company that really loves poker and has made a beautiful thing. World Series of Poker going on right now. 33 bracelets available as well. I think it's not sure the exact what portion it's through. I have been, again, traveling. The time zone in Asia is not as, wow, interesting state. Queen 10 suited. Can't call. A nice shove from Leon there. I guess he could. How many blinds was it? But
20.
A little too much.
He ain't sticking that in.
No. But yeah, the World Series bracelet. What do you think about that? Winning a bracelet online. Obviously, it's cool to win tournaments. Do you have a strong feeling if it should count, or should be an asterisk, or a different type of bracelet, or what do you think?
I like it. I dig it. I think that, once upon a time, bracelets were a lot more of a novel thing, and it was a lot harder to have a bracelet. Now, I think they're becoming a lot more common. I think there's a lot of people that would love the opportunity to, but perhaps can't get out to Vegas. Yeah. And I think not making them too common, but making them common enough that the average person has a shot. Yeah. And that it's still prestigious. It's not like it's just the run of the mill piece of jewelry. So I personally, I'm a big fan of kind of opening the gates to a lot of people having potential big W's.
I agree with you. I think it's also, we're a little biased probably because we do a lot of content, a lot of some streaming and such, and more maybe love for online poker. But I do think that it is also, you could argue it might be tougher to win in some online fields than even
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. What's your biggest results live and online?
for live. I had 414,000, my biggest score, and then I think I have like 3.5 million in live cashes, and then online I've had a couple like 150K scores. That was my best one was the 25-hour stream to like $500 buy-in, took down the $1 million Sunday three-way. And actually I was getting married in 2 days, and I was at my wife's parents' house in Brazil, and they don't really speak great English, and they saw me in the chair in the same clothes. The next day came down. It was pretty wild. They were like, "Wait, you're still playing? Why are you in the same clothes?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's good. Trust me, it's good."
Yeah. Oh man, there's a lot of pressure to win that one, huh? Because
Yeah,
if you like min cash, they'll be like,
yeah. Like at 8th or 12th, and they're there. It's like 7 a.m. and there, and they're like, "Yeah." So no, it was cool. That was my most memorable stream and score
yeah,
for
25-hour stream, huh?
yeah. That was, and I've
Longer than
never done
longer
anything
than I
close
ever
to that.
can.
Like I've done like 14s, 15s, but never, like, cause it was just the time zone. It was like a 4 o'clock start tournament, which was really like 1 Eastern, and the time zone in Brazil,
Right.
different times of the
Yeah.
year is 1 or 3 hours apart. So like
Oh,
it would
this
happen. Yeah.
this could be it. Oh, it's not it. It's not it. He could have found the shove there. Sorry to interrupt you. I
No,
thought it could be ding going in the blend, but unfortunately for Leon, he's just gonna take it down pre-flop. So you played a 25-hour stream. Were you one tabling for a long time at the end?
yes. Yeah. That was 4 o'clock. I think it was 4 o'clock Eastern, which was 7 o'clock Brazil, which I started. And I had started at 9. I actually want to ask you here the merits to, is that just standard just to shove there, or just like
Yeah, you
looks
just
maybe
gotta
less
shove it.
strong? Yeah.
Just gotta shove it, I think.
Um, but yeah, so it was like I started basically 7 Brazil time. It was like the last one I played, and then I just sort of went that way. And actually, that's one of the realizations I had, how much better I do when I have 1 or 2 tables than like the 6 or 8, 12 kind of
Yeah,
crazy thing. And if
yeah,
I had
yeah.
one thing or piece of advice I'd say to people who are playing online poker, I think it really does matter. I think there's like a unique, you see the King 10 suited, kind of frustrating, real hand
I
to open
think you
your.
gotta throw it away. I think. Oh, he does
Wow.
make the call. I'm
He's
unsure
called,
about
the
that,
tournament's been
honestly.
going on. The taxi, shout out to Houston, Texas. King 10 suited. Queen of Diamonds, interesting turns potential. King is very interesting.
Damn,
Jumped in
spicy!
into
Don't hit two pet.
a big lead, and it is a 3
Oh,
across 6, and that is going to
six.
be a GG to Ding, who is our 5th place finisher, 4 left. And here we go into the mini game with the sevens
Game.
on the small blind, a 2nd place stack currently. And Leon, who's played very solid, four-handed,
All right,
mind you.
let's call. Guys, get your answers out in the chat. This shouldn't just be me and Jeff playing. We should get some group think together here.
Well,
And yeah, let me know if you call this, if you follow this, if you three bet it. Somebody said digging the robe. I can only just see the chat. This robe. Oh,
oh,
I would lead this flop. I would lead this flop. This robe is actually my wife's dress, but I accommodated it.
this is a very interesting board. You like the lead, huh? What, just to put some big pairs in the blender, maybe get called by ace king high and stuff, ace queen.
Yeah, yeah. I like to lead here as a bluff a lot. And I might end up leading here as value as well. Just lead small, and then if he raises, you just have you can put his pairs in such a rough spot. I don't like the just call. I don't like the just call. Also, I think when Leon continuation bets here, he's gonna have a lot of overpairs, and now if the turn is a 6, an 8, or a 3, as we see here, or even an ace or a king if he has like queens or whatever. He's not going to go for stacks, and I would much rather see a raise on the flop. So disagreeing with 2 decisions on one street there with Duco, but don't mind the check. But I really would have liked to see a raise. Interesting. People very much under bluff this as Leon, and also very interesting is that I think he's going to be shoving the river pretty often as well. I think the only hands that are really going to go bet check are going to be the spade. Oh,
Wow.
oh! I think lead shove is Duco. What do you think? What do you guys think? Doesn't shove. He doesn't shove it.
Wow.
I would have liked a lead shove. How much 9x do you have? You have way more 9x. Leon, is he going to be barreling his like king 9s on the turn? Possibly. Is he going to be barreling his ace 9s on the flop? Probably not. Might not even barrel his king nines on the flop. So I think we have a lot more 9x. I would have loved to see a shove there from Duco, but he goes for the very quick check, which is an interesting timing tell. Don't know if he's balanced there. Hard to be balanced there, because if you do have a 9, are you going to snap check it? I don't know about that. I would have really liked to see a lead shove there on the river, and he does get put all in. We see that it is chopping. We see it's chopping.
Wow.
Fascinating stuff. And
Leon, I mean, this guy might be my new favorite player. What a run out, first of all, but that is a very, very interesting hand. And that is going to lead me to the keyword, the giveaway. We're going to do GGPoker space Charlie space your GGPoker username. So that is how you enter.
Nice.
It is, you just got to type in the chat, GGPoker space Charlie space your GGPoker username, or if you don't have a available country or jurisdiction you're able to play, you could gift it to someone, right? Give it to them, or take 50%, put a buddy's name in there, and we are going to cue that up here at the end of the stream. So if you hit the thumbs up, coupled with that, you are eligible for that. Good luck to everyone. And again, the hands up, I know you said aces, you think it'll win. I said Jack 9 of hearts. Still time to enter in that one, and the pin tweet is still available for $50. As we know, Charlie is the bankroll specialist. 50 can go a long way. You can do a lot of work with 50. So good luck to all of you out there on the giveaways today. And there's a look at what they're playing for. Big money, 6-figure club has been activated already. 4 remain. And everyone here going to take home a nice score, but someone will leave with 293 buy-ins. That's a lot of buy-ins, 29 buy-ins.
That's a lot of buy-ins. I just really want to draw attention to that hand that Duco just played. Very, very he's obviously a player that plays more intuitively, maybe a bit more like me in a way. And he's played some genius hands, and sometimes when you're playing genius hands, you're dancing on the edge of foolishness. And potentially that was also a genius hand, and he just happens to have run into the time his opponent's, he's got a bluff. But personally, I really don't like how he played a lot of that hand. And it's I think he really missed an opportunity there to make his opponent get put in a blender by lead shoving the river there. And it's a very instructive moment for people at home. It's like, when there's 5 to a straight, you got to be thinking about who has the highest straight more often, and how much are they going to fold if they have like just a chop. And in this exact spot, I think Duco had the straight more often, and his opponent had ICM implications, meaning he's probably going to make some tighter folds. So I really would have liked to see a lead shove there, or at least like think about it, at least think for a while about that, because that ain't an easy spot to just figure out in a few seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Well, ace 9 is going to get the walk. 6 million, 3 million, 2.4 million, 2.5. To be fair here, there is the stacks are not super short. I think they just went up. The level is up. It is a still healthy though. A lot of people still play 4-handed here. We got a bit of meat left, and there's a bunch to play for as we see the difference between 4th and 1st. And that giveaway is queued up. GGPoker space Charlie space your GGPoker username will be $50 or $100. Hit that thumbs up, and that is how you get in the eligibility. Hit the thumbs up and type that in. Good luck to everyone. And Jack 6, Ace 4, 10, 3, and Leon, who is in again, just sort of gets it right. He just seems to know. He's
got that 6th sense for Jack 6 offsuit, huh?
He is locked in. Alex gonna get out of the way. 6 million. Alex Kulev looking to add to his GG millions. I gotta double check it, but I believe pretty crazy. There was 3 people that had won the GG millions out of this 9, and the 3 out of the 4 they're in. All 3 are still in. So we are gonna likely have a repeat winner, although Ilya doing his best to hang in there. 2.3 still lurking, still dangerous. And Kings, just what the doctor ordered on the button on cue. Can he get a customer? Likely will with the min raise. Queen 8 suited, not going to be folding.
Dangerous situation for Alex here. You can hit a top pair pretty often with that queen.
Wow.
I was wondering if he finds that shove, and
Gonna step into it. Kings are in okay shape. It
doesn't feel good for Kings. I don't know about you.
That's a tough turn. Tough turn brings a lot of outs, sometimes too many outs. And Mr. Alex Kulev, the dream spot. How do you get kings to the 2 unders? The guy rips it in and just gets a bank. 8.4 million on the table versus more than the two combined. Very tough players here. Big hand as well. 3-handed eights versus A7 off.
Did anyone else at home feel like that wasn't that was going to go badly for the Kings?
Didn't
Sometimes you just feel the energy of the universe, eh, Jeff?
it didn't feel right. That turn
No.
made me feel a little sick and a little nauseous, and it did come through. And Leon now with eights gonna rip it, and Duco A7 off, not the hand to call
Not
off
going to
with,
be
but a
the
little
one.
frustrating because it is a good hand, 3-handed on the button there. As Leon doing his best. There it is, man. This is it. The 3 winners of the GG Millions over the course of the 3 seasons are 1, 2, and 3 right here. Experience doesn't lie. There's been
Wait,
some
really?
great plays, and these guys are showing us world-class performance
The
again.
the only 3 winners previously are now these 3 here.
Yes.
That's crazy.
From the
Like,
G from
statistically.
the list today. I'm just double checking everything, but yeah, let's just get that right. So Alex has won in season 2 once out of 2 final tables. Duco was 2 for 2 winning at his final tables, and then season 3 we have Leon, who has had 2 appearances, 1 cash, 1 final table, 1 win. So he has played twice and won
Yeah,
once this season. So he's, like I said,
crazy.
he's in good form.
Crazy. So here, I remember when I was first learning poker, I was looking at sit and goes, and this is what people used to call and probably still call a folding war, which is a very specific type of ICM where Leon and Duco are both playing basically for second place. Neither of them want to get in a big hand versus Alex because if they double up and win, who cares? But they do want to go after each other here, and they do want to try and outlast each other. So this is the dream spot for Alex. He gets to blast the button opens. He gets to blast the small blind opens. He's going to get a load of walks in the big blind. Yeah. Not with this exact hand, but he just gets to really, really bully people. Wouldn't be surprised to see a raise here. I think I would raise this exact hand, and then probably check the more suited ones. But Alex deciding to go with a check here, definitely not bad. And looks like Duco's going to win this hand. Something I really enjoy doing here is when Duco checks as Alex, just going like 4x pot. Like really just putting with basically all of my bluffs, just putting people in the blender in these kind of situations where they're just the whole range is just like overpairs, ace highs and king highs. And very often it's going to be ace highs and king highs. Yeah. And just really making sure they fold everything there. He does go for the call on the river pretty quickly with a queen. Fair enough. Can't hate the player.
Yeah, they can make sense. That is a callable hand, and queen high not good. That situation. Jack 5, 10-5 gonna go in and pick it up versus Leon, as we see Leon still at 2.9 million. So interesting where Alex has the exact same stack. I mean, he's got these 2 players with the exact same stack, and there is a decent jump in payouts here between third and second. So let's see how Alex uses this to his advantage.
I had a really funny spot once. I was final 10 of a tournament in Amsterdam, and the board ran out something like 5-5-3-3 deuce or something like that, and my opponent bets 1 big blind, and I got a live tell that he was bluffing, and I had 8 high.
Okay.
And I was so sure that he was bluffing, and he'd snap bet as well. I was like, I don't know if he's going to snap bet the 9 high, and the guy was so nervous that it was like palpable by the end, because I've been staring at him for like three minutes for this 1 big blind bet, and I ended up making the call, and he had 7 high. Wow. And it was one of my favorite hands, because it's like he's only ever going to be nervous in that spot when he's bluffing, because no one's going to value bet an ace high and be like, you know.
What was his reaction? Was he? It was a little bit. He was taken back.
I think I might be wrong on this. It might have been a different hand in that tournament. But somebody at the table took a photo of it. I think it might have been a journalist though. But I think somebody at the table took a photo.
It's rewarding. That's a rewarding one. It's funny what stands out. Like that's it's also to be in a cool spot at a final table, make a nice call and just sort of dial in. It does feel good, and also feeling good. Duco with King 7. He was dominated. Now he is in Good.
I just had a flashback of, and maybe you can tell me what this is, of you playing a hand where you make a ludicrous fold and it's correct, and you say how dialed in you were, and I remember being amazed by it. I can't remember it. Do you know which one I'm talking about by any chance?
Oh, you're talking on a Twitch stream from like
Yeah,
way
yeah,
back? I know
yeah.
exactly the hand you're talking about. Yeah, I actually was trying to find it the other day. I had somewhere deep on my Instagram, but I had Jack 10 suited. I had a full house on Jack 10 or something, and there was like a straight flush hand, and I checked back. I was just like, I said something about time. I said, I just like, I'm sure the guy's got a straight flush here, and it's actually so crazy it has to be bad, right? Because like 99.9% of the time they're just gonna have like I'm losing value, but like to be right there and not do it like often something like that or ever really. So like
Yeah.
that was a weird one. I don't know. Like you can't. I almost can't talk about because it's almost embarrassing. Like how like you know what I
No,
mean. I
man,
was just to
I'm
be
a
right.
big believer in this kind of stuff. Like when you get a feeling and you trust that feeling, that you have to cultivate your intuition to be able to get to that point. But when it
Yeah.
goes right, oh man, it feels good. And I'm a big believer in going with those
I was
feelings.
just thinking what's going right, and this could go wrong because Alex he's got the worst hand here, and he's going to attack at the wrong time. Leon just with the clean ace eight top pair and nowhere to go but kick click call. And Alex,
Yeah.
let's see if he's going to shut down or not.
Interesting sizing. The stacks are going to be pretty weird on the turn. He's turning this into a two street hand, but not on a board that's really like a two street board. You know, like a lot of your value hands here, like a lot of your sets, they don't want to go two streets, they want to go three streets. So the sizing on the flop's very, very peculiar. Um, Definitely also going to be running into a lot of very strong hands here when Leon's going to have a lot of ace X, a lot of queen. He raised big pre-flop Alex, I think like 4x. So he's going to have a lot of ace X, a lot of queen, probably queen jack suited might be in there on the flop. A lot of king tens. You know, there's a ton of hands that they could definitely run into, and he does find the bet. Kind of like a protection slash please don't bluff me on the river kind of bet there. Um, it's very nice when you get the fold, and the stack's evening out a little bit there. But yeah, I remember watching that hand, man, and being like just so amazed. And so like I'm a big believer in these energies of feeling the other players, and it was like to be able to do that on stream as I got to rewatch that. That was one of the
Yeah,
best
the
Twitch moments.
barbecuing, like that's the problem too, because if you're when you're wrong, it's so like that's the
Oh,
problem.
you
It's
get
if you're wrong, you're just gonna
wrecked
get
if you're wrong.
barbecued forever. Yeah. But whatever.
You almost want to like check behind, and then when they show not the nuts, you go, "Oh my god, I didn't realize that a boat." But no, you went, "I think he's got a straight flush. I'm gonna check here," and he just had a straight flush. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was. I'm gonna find that. I remember where I was. I was in the Bahamas, and that was definitely a fun thing. That's what I love about Twitch too. Is like they record. Ooh,
He's
Jake
found the
Foy.
Robbie,
He's
and he
going.
knew.
Wow. That was my podcast guest the other day. She just did the Ask Me Anything is on GG as well. So a little homage here. It's also the Club GG hand they use as their demo. So look at this man. Is Leon? Is he just this sick? And is Duco with the King 5 off? And what is it? He's
Oh my god,
considering what to do here. I mean, this is a
what a
lot. What I
leveling
mean,
war, and
Leon.
Leon wins it.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow, that was my favorite hand growing up. I swear, Jack Four suited. I loved it for like before I read anything about position or this or that. Like I just when I was playing home games, I liked the suited Jack Four. I just seemed to like make boats and
interesting.
full houses, and I ran them as well. But that was like first year of poker. I don't know why that
Robbie had read your book and got it slightly wrong, but
unreal stuff.
what did you ask her in the Ask Me Anything?
No,
Did
no,
you
no.
try?
She didn't ask me anything for GG, like a Reddit thing that like ran just
Right.
now. I'm just saying her energy's out there because I just did a podcast with her like 3 days ago. I recorded one and just put it out, I think yesterday. So I'm just saying, yeah, I don't know, but that is the Robbie. That's another topic we could talk about. That is a very interesting thing. I didn't follow it like so dialed in, lasered here. Oh,
I was so involved with it. I was speaking to Garrett a lot about it, and I was
oh, really?
speaking to and I
Okay.
was speaking to all of the people. Ooh, nice. He's going for it. This Leon guy is really not taking any shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's two pretty cool four bets in a row there. I really like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was dialed in with all the people that were like super looking into it, doing like data analysis on loads. Like it was pretty intense. It was like a big drama around it, and yeah, it's interesting. Like a lot of the poker world, even the top players still believe with like near 100% certainty that she'd been up some dirty deeds, and I include myself in that one. But at the same time, innocent till proven guilty in the court of the law is important, and you gotta you gotta accept the humility of like, I can't, if there's no absolute evidence, you gotta just say I might be wrong.
Yeah, that this is let's see, ace 5 10 7 real quick here. This is a nice turn. Leon, things kind of, Alex, not getting the full run over. He's sort of had them both pegged at like 2.5 million. Now all of a sudden Leon is sort
Yeah,
of
he's losing the
doubled
grip, losing the grasp
creatively.
of the folding war.
Yeah, and he's on his way here. But I'll say one of the things that stood out to me the most on all that was I was actually in Austin. I remember I was with Bill Perkins, and he got on like a Zoom or some call with Joey Ingram. And this was like fresh off the debate, like days
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
2-3 days, and they were offering bounties. Like anyone that has any info, like $250,000 or some crazy stuff. Like it's hard to keep a secret. And if you're in the control room or you're someone involved or something or whatever, like you know I don't know. I think that was also kind of like the telling
Yeah,
you really.
it's definitely a data point. The main thing that really just tickles me is that, we had this crazy thing that everyone's already talking about whether she cheated, and then we find out that somebody had randomly stolen off her stack like an amount that would have been a fair thing to take, and then he
It was
just
like 15,000 or
disappears.
something. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they're following each other on Twitter, and then he like writes something with the exact same grammatic incorrectness as that she writes, and there's just way too many coincidences that piled on top of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
The whole
me,
thing was wild. It was definitely wild. Like there was, I can't remember the hand now either. Ooh,
oh,
this
this
has
could
got
be it.
possible issues.
I think this is it. I think this is Duco's goodbye for 30% of the time.
Yeah. This looks just like the one of those limp jam situations.
Yeah, nothing
Um,
you can do. Could call, but oh, it does. He finds the call.
does find the call. Duco dialed in, but this is a kind of a weird flop, right? Ace 8, you're beating a lot of stuff still if you think you're good, and this is a
Yeah,
clean
I hope
flop.
Alex finds a small c bet. He's been going with half pot pretty much all the time, but I really think this is a great spot for a small c bet. That was great. He's really keen on those half pots, man. He doesn't care about which board it is, what position. So every single flop I've just seen him c bet half pot.
Oh, yeah, he's his opponent Duco with ace 8 here. It's probably pretty close to what he wants to do, but can't fold. He
Yeah, I think
decides,
ace
and he
eight's
does
right,
fold.
right on the cusp there, right on the cusp.
Also
I think.
doesn't have a heart or clubs.
Yeah, and I think Alex here just has the easiest shove known to man, and Duco just has to fold it. Unfortunately for Duco, you're like, I probably have the best hand a decent amount of time, but what am I going to do? I will say I'm a lot better at guessing Alex's Alex's play than I'm Duco's. Duco's hands I struggle with because he's a lot more out there.
Tough. You play such a great brand, such a great game. All of a sudden, just to like hero call off potentially that you could be drawing dead, or really have to fade a ton. And it doesn't seem that appetizing as that board
My,
unfolds there. But
my friend Ben Heath and I used to have a thing in these situations. People would often call off, and we'd be like, "Oh, they're in the hero call part of their range," because everyone loves to be a hero.
it's true. That is
Yeah.
true. That's a good point. And here, Alex starting to get good situations. King, queen 4 suited opening. Just gets to 3-bet, get this in if he were to arrive at a hand to play with, but he is just going to pick that up, and that is a takedown as we see ace 4 king queen, also very relevant hands. What's this, 12 blinds? See a min rate. I mean, to be fair, Alex doesn't even love this when you get shoved, right? Like how many chips is it? 1.6. It's 120.
Yeah,
So
I think
12,
this is like borderline now. Fold. I think it's probably just a fold. It's
it's
gonna be
12,
close. It's
12
close.
blinds.
Yeah. Oh, if it's 12, it's a fold. Yeah, I thought it was 10.
Yeah, that is king jack queen 10, queen of clubs. Pretty
Another
powerful
very
card
nice
there.
spot for a little donk bet from Alex here. He's at least tanking. He's at least considering it. And he does find it. He does find the quarter. I'm a lot better. Like I said, I'm a lot better at predicting Alex's play than I am Duco's. He's really sticking to a lot of the theory here. It really feels like he's got his strategy, which apparently involves a lot of half pot C bets. And he's really sticking to his theory. Whereas Duco, like even tanking that ace-8 there, it just feels like he's looking for a play. It feels like he's looking to try and own somebody, looking to try and make this weird kooky play. Interesting spot here with Leon. Theory-wise, you're allowed to do a lot of very tiny raises here, like 260k. He does find the trap very, very interesting, and the turn is just going to kill his action there. I probably would have personally just gone for a tiny raise, but it does make a lot of sense theory-wise to also have some traps in your range. But I like in this spot to just try and stack a jack, try and get loads versus a 10. And try and maximize versus like the ace of diamonds as well.
Yep. Well, 6-9 suited. Leon and Luke, we're gonna have some not great news.
It's a big bet. It's a big, chunky, nice, big, chunky. It's yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of the size personally, but I can see why he's got a lot of potential bluffs, but he's also got a lot of those kind of like middling flushes. So I would have gone for a smaller size then. Or a jack.
It's an interesting one. He's going to shove, which makes sense. An ace-4 as a short stack. It's an ace. Going to call it off.
Gotta call it off. This is it.
We are going
playing for an extra. What's the page up here? I can't see. It's covered.
It's covered at the bottom. It's something. And it's ace-4, queen-6. Needs the ace. Oh, drawing dead. 2-pair. It is a heads-up battle, and we got a dinner sweat. The audience has a $50 sweat. The pinned tweet is available still. That is a sweat. You got the hands up. You got aces. I got jack 9 of hearts. This is the meat. This is the excitement. This is it. This is the audience. Everyone's fired up. Two great players going to battle here, and they're even-ish stacks. So we've got ourselves a ball game. 10-7 defends, and quite a flop.
Straight off the bat, we've got Leon just absolutely hammering this board with an overpair with nines. Not easy to do, and Alex has got a pair. He sizes up really. ICM's off the table when you're playing heads up. Doesn't matter. They're playing a cash game at this point. Doesn't affect your play at all when your heads up. There's 0 ICM. So now he's just playing this like he would in a cash game, and he has literally the best hands to go with a big sizing on the flop here, because it needs the most protection, and you're going to still get a ton of value versus the 7x and the 10x and the flush draws and straight draws. So he's going to want to go big. Huge on this turn, the brickiest of all bricks of the deuce, and on a lot of rivers he's going to go for stacks. On a deuce, on a 3, on a 4 he's probably going to go for stacks. I can even see it on something like a king, maybe even a queen, knowing that his opponent isn't going to have too many of those cards in his range. So this could be he does find the fold on the turn. Don't get to see the excitement.
Great fold. And we are about as even as it gets, and that is a slight chip lead for Leon. This guy is on fire. I'm telling you, he took down already on season 2023 he's only played, I believe, 2 times. He won one, and now it's another one. So he's gonna be playing. He's got the chip lead, a little momentum. They're basically tied. We'll call it a tie. This is as close as you're going to get. 7-5. Go look at the 7-5 suited, just going ahead and binning on up right on top. Are you surprised by that selection of a hand?
I'm a little surprised. 100 big blinds deep, doing this 100% of the time, or I'm doing this a lot. This stack depth 7-5 suited starting to get a little bit dicey. About you see a flop, the SPR is not too big. I'm a little bit surprised there. I'd often, I'd expect to see some worse hands and some better hands. 7-5, 7-6 suited is not, they flop so well, it just sucks to get 4-bet.
Right. Nothing going there. And what about limping? Talk to me about your current thoughts on stack sizes and limping buttons in these tournament scenarios, because it's something that we see they're dead even, and sort of how deep they are. You expect limping, min raising? Where do you draw the line when you start kind of limping? What's a determination for you?
Yeah, for me, it really depends who I'm up against. If I'm up against somebody that's extremely seasoned in heads up, what I might do is I'll try and throw in a lot of different sizes pre-flop, with my 3 bets and my opening, and then I'll limp as well. And what it does is it really takes them out of their familiarity with the game trees that they've studied inside out. And that, you know, I practice some against Linus Love, heads up cash game. He's obviously gonna just crush me in the long run. But I was using a lot of like 3x sizes, different size 3-bets, and he was doing different size 3-bets as well. And I really like to just complicate the game tree for all of these theory players. Like if you're in chess and you go outside of the realms of normalcy. So for that reason, I like it. And you know, just a pure theory way, I like it when you get shorter mostly. Or if you have antes, like in this situation, you can get away with a lot of limping. I think we saw it was the 8 deuce offsuit that he limped.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
exactly 8 deuce off. So we're seeing here not going to limp the 3 deuce off. Jack 8.
So he's saying here, he's saying, yo, I'm gonna be playing 92 to 95% of hands, maybe 95% of hands, yeah. So it's you know, he's playing a really wide range. And I wouldn't recommend doing that at home, honestly. I'd recommend not limping the 8 deuce offsuit probably ever in any spot ever. Unless you're a super pro, it's probably not going to be super fruitful. But he is a super pro, so let him do what he wishes. And he runs into a pretty dicey flop here with Jack 10 after the limp call on the button. Leon is going to smash this board. Alex will have nut advantage, so he has a decision here. Is he going to go big, or is he just going to give up? And I think it has to be one or the other. And he does end up going big, saying, hey, I've got jacks, I've got tens, I've got, you know, maybe jack 10 suited, I've got aces, kings, and queens. And Leon, even though you hit this board really hard, you know, you do have jack 10, you do have jack 9, you have 10 9, you have 8 9, you know, king 9, whatever else. You know, it's, you know, you don't have as many 9 hands as me, so I'm going to go big. I'm going to see what you're made of. And Leon getting a pretty nice turn here, even though it doesn't look great for his hand. He could be drawing dead. It does mean a lot of Alex's bluffs, like King 7, which is a good bluff candidate in my opinion, they're going to have a tough time finding enough barrels in this turn to make your life misery. So really nice turn, being able to see Alex's hands. And I think just maybe something like a third pot here would do the job. Half pot, good enough. Oh yeah, half pot makes a lot of sense with stack sizes.
Does find a half pot bet, and Alex, I guess, you know, there are hands it is heads up. It's hard to make a pair. King 7 does beat some hands. Queen 9, 8 9.
It does. It beats Queen 8, it beats 8 9, it beats 7 8. There's a lot. Genuinely, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of hands he does beat there. And by going half pot instead of a third, he's saying, hey, I've got a jack or better. You know, that's kind of all you're repping there. Maybe like something as strong as King 10 specifically, but it's yeah, the half pot really does keep the ranges pretty polarized.
So Leon with deuces decides not to re-raise all in or something. I guess a little too deep, and does set mine, just calls, and actually has the best hand, has a gut shot here too. And Alex with the real hand, ace 9 off, doesn't have much help with the board, and 4-3 queen bets and gets called. Now his decision, does he want to pressure, does he not? And
just gotta try and take this bad boy to showdown and pray to see ace 5 or king 9 or whatever.
Yeah, deuces in the lead.
Check 1,000,000% of the time, and then on to the next hand. Nice.
Ace 9, I guess. Yeah,
Alex, it's gonna go check. Don't make me look stupid here. This is gonna go check 1,000,000%. I said 1,000,000. I didn't even say 100.
Oh no,
Alex,
but deuces could have a. That's not an easy call, I guess, as played though. He is going to think
about it. He's bluffing with ace 9, and his opponent has a tough decision with deuces. The one hand that's like, oh, Alex, that's why you don't bluff ace 9. He's that you don't get much more own than that. You know, when you bluff and your opponent calls the 1 pip higher. That's it's like
right. He's not even considering the deuces, right? He's trying to get 3 or 4 to fold or whatever. So that's even one there. And here we go. King Jack suited. Alex calls, does not raise, and both players are going to be interested, engaged, enlightened with the flop. Everyone likes it. Ace of clubs with the 5, gut shot, ace high in the lead. King Jack has 2 overs and the second up flush draw. So this is going to be a little skillet here. This is going to be a pot brewing. Both players going to like this board a lot. I mean, Leon's got to love the board. Ace
Yeah.
five still in the lead, gets a favorable turn. Actually, a great card for ace five to not improve because you now pick up double gutted and you do still beat a lot of hands. So ace five
You
really
almost want to
nice.
see like a 10 of clubs on the river. Just
Oh my goodness, the nine of clubs. Wow.
these are those magic powers there. Yeah,
That was match. He checks. He's got the ace of clubs, and I mean, if he got creative here, it would not, of course, work with the second up flush and
I
heads up
think it's
poker.
coming. I think
You
it's
think he's
coming.
going
What
to
do you
check
think?
raise this one?
Yeah, I think you're about to win. I think you're about to win the
Wow,
bet.
this could be over.
How
I got
could
to
you not,
announce.
man? I mean, you're gonna turn up with the nut flush so often. You're gonna turn up with king high clubs so often. Oh, yeah, 2/3 is coming. You got to shove.
Wow.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't shove this. Your
He's
opponent's gonna be pretty
he's gonna shove and
polar.
get snapped out of his snapped out of his pants. We have got a
Oh.
champion just like that. You saw it come. It just worked. It worked, and he goes, "I want to call." He did call. He won. This guy is dangerous. Take a note on this man in the poker world. Go look at him, Google him, search him, Hennemob him, whatever you got to do. Leon Sturm is on the map. His second GG Millions title in very short order, and he also just won a World Series bracelet and a 50K live. Impressive stuff, Charlie. Your takeaways today. What do you think? Thoughts? Anything?
Yeah, it was fascinating to see all the different styles of play. Like a lot of people, they think that because everybody studied so much of the same solvers and outputs that a lot of the psychology is taken out of the game. But we saw a lot of players play really, really different. We saw, the winner of the whole tournament. He played very solid, but he found some really big bluffs. He found some really big pre-flop moments. The really big player for me to watch was Duco.
Yep.
I think he played at least one hand really poorly, as my personal opinion. But he played two hands amazingly.
Yep.
Like really putting his opponent not on a range of hands that's normal, but on an exploitative sizing tell on a tiny narrow range of hands, and the same opponent. No more, no less than the fake Brinkeni himself.
Yep.
Finding that value raise with kings was just next level in a spot where ranges are meant to be really tight. And he's like, you know what? I don't think you would do that with the nutted hands. And he goes for this thin value raise with his pocket kings. And there was another hand as well.
Queen five off where he
five hero call on the river with 4 to a straight as well. And it's just so beautiful to see that poker's not just theory, it's not just calculators, it's not like we saw that in the game, in the fabric of reality itself, the psychological and spiritual warfare that was happening between the players. And I think it's very easy to forget that this exists even at the highest stakes, but for sure we just saw it there. And that's probably my biggest takeaway, is that poker isn't just this robotic game that everyone wants to paint it as. We're human beings. You can't escape that. We're emotional creatures. We're flawed. We have foibles. We have weaknesses. And, there are sharks out there that are going to pounce when they smell bloods. And these players, they're really finding that beautiful balance between theory, which is something I never went too deep into, and then the exploitative side and the intuitive side and the reads. It was fantastic to see it.
It's very cool, and it happened fast. So I did want to announce the winner. It is Unibro, Unibro. That is the YouTube name, and your username on GG is CHIKU69. So congrats to you. You won. You will be notified. You will get a ticket. I believe it was 100, right? It was my guy. I got a dinner, $100. You put in a great day of commentary. Appreciate it. Thank you. And where can people find and watch you? What's the best way for them to keep up and sweat along with you?
Yeah, check out my new site, eliteuniversity.co.uk. It's I've only just relaunched it, and we're not only going to be teaching how to crush at poker, which we've already got hundreds of hours of content there, but we're also going to start releasing courses really, really cheap about how to make money in other ways, like coding, becoming an editor, becoming various other things, to really help a lot of people that might not make it in poker escape the rat race, escape the office job and things like that. And it's my new passion project, and if you get in early, you're gonna a lot cheaper. So yeah, I'd say I'm gonna give one shout out to eliteuniversity.co.uk.
Very cool. And I gotta say, I know we talked, it's been a while. You've been on the podcast for a few years ago. We did one together. You guys can search that as well if you want to get to know Charlie better, and of course follow him on the various socials. I would love to take you up on that. I feel like I've missed in my poker career the opportunity. I get to talk with, work with, do commentary with, podcasts with a lot of great players, people that have coaching platforms and stuff. But I would like to put it out there, and I guess I know we're busy, you're busy, I'm busy, you got kids, you got kid. It's life comes fast, but I would like to dive into the next level, and I do really think I've seen your results, I've seen how you play. I do really believe you are in tune to reads, and I'll probably align a little more how I would like to do things, not be doing deep dive solver work on that. So, at some point I'd love to connect, collaborate, do some things, and maybe you could help me take to the next level, because I do feel like kind of missed that like killer last bit, like to finish tournaments, to win tournaments, and kind of get deep, have a good idea on stuff, but not quite there. So I'll be checking that website out. Hope to talk to you more about that later, and again, appreciate the time. Thank you so much, and look forward to collaborating more in the future. So appreciate that today. Thank you so much.
You're an inspiration, man. Congrats on making it through after getting up at 4 a.m. or whatever it was.
It is 6:10 in the morning. I'm gonna bank a nice, one of the best buffets I've ever had in my life at the hotel here. So it's 6:30 it opens. That's right about now. I'm gonna pack up my laptop. It reminds me of the old streaming days. I'm in this little room. The Wi-Fi, internet had problems with the start. I don't have my second screen. I can't see the chat. I miss you guys. Saudades. I'll see you next week. I'm gonna be on the crazy time zone. Christy Arnett is gonna join, and we will see you soon, Charlie. Thank you for the time. We'll see you guys next week on the GG Millions.
Full of love, brother.